253DF Memphis with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Time for the Friday, May 9th, 2025 edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Elijah Seegers with you, broadcasting live. We're live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, I've been telling you about pool time, right? We're just about there. Almost summer. That means you have to stock up on everything you need for summer, including maybe new liners for your pool, which start at just $2.99. All pool accessories up to 20% off. Patio furniture sets. Maybe it's time to get a new patio furniture set. Up to 50% off selected sets. All types of deals on everything at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 60 degrees as you get your Friday going. Going to get up to about 76 today. Absolutely perfecto weather-wise. A little cloudy early, then some peaks of sunshine this afternoon. Only about a 5% chance of precipitation tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. We'll dip down to about 58. I love it. Tomorrow cloudy. 72 degrees for your high here in the metropolitan Memphis area. Coming up on the program today, of course, plenty of NBA talk, NBA playoffs, just one game last night to discuss. 2 games on the docket for tonight. Big announcement by the University of Memphis about a future series in college basketball that I'm sure has a lot of people smiling today. We will discuss that on the program. We have some potential big news. You knew it was going to happen here sooner than later. It's not official yet, but we discussed it yesterday without knowing that the Power 4 commissioners were meeting in New York, and we may be having a 16-team playoff for 2026. May just skip right over 14, which they should, and go to 16. We'll talk about that on the program. The time for the kickoff of the Egg Bowl and the day is all set. We will give you all those details of what will happen during the 2025 college football season. John Varlas will join us at 7:25. Prep playoffs are underway. We'll get updated with JV. At 8:30, we'll talk with Steve Macy, the Showboat's Vice President of Team Business and Event Operations. They got a big one on Sunday. It's a Mother's Day game. All types of great deals going on for their fans as far as $2 hot dogs and drinks and all that good stuff. And they'll be playing the Battle Hawks of St. Louis. I wonder if the St. Louis fans travel. We know that they go to the games in St. Louis. Maybe they travel. Should be a big clash, and I think it will be a good game. 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday between the Showboats and the Battle Hawks. We'll take your calls, your texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. That's your lineup for today. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday to everybody out there.
Yes, and don't forget Mom on Sunday. We'll talk more about that later, but Mother's Day is just about upon us. Mr. Elijah Seegers, rather. How are you?
I'm doing good. Feeling good here on this Friday morning.
Wait a minute. Are you wearing an LA Dodgers cap?
Yeah.
Have you changed allegiance already?
Man, I'm not like that. You know my talk on loyalty, but
I know, but I'm looking at you with that Dodgers. You know, after what the Rockies did yesterday, and
he wants to root for a team that actually wins a game once in a while.
Oh my God!
Although the Dodgers did lose last night, so
they did, despite a Shohei Ohtani home run. But yesterday in the bigs, because I keep up with the Rockies because of Hunter Goodman.
I'd say, did anyone else lose twice yesterday, though?
No.
That certainly didn't get outscored by like 20 runs or whatever you guys did.
21-3, the Tigers outscored the Rockies. Hunter had a hitting streak snapped. He had a hit in the one game. He drove in a run in the other with a sac fly, but went 0 for 3, so the hitting streak is over. But, yes, a quick glance at the standings shows the Colorado Rockies, not to rub it in or anything, Elijah, but 6-31. The Chicago White Sox, the team that the new Pope roots for, has 10 wins. They have 4 more wins than the Rockies have. The Rockies have 6 total wins at 6-31. Speaking of the Pope, congratulations. We have a new Pope. Pope Leo the 14th. I am a Catholic, so it's, even though I'm not the greatest Catholic in the world and the most religious person in the world, I have, faith in my religion, and it was really, really cool yesterday. I don't know about other people outside of Catholicism, if they care about that, but I had a production meeting yesterday for Memphis baseball this weekend, and in the production meeting, the director said, "There's white smoke. There's white smoke." I mean, there's not too many traditions that you can even compare to the white smoke, black smoke situation at the Vatican. But it was the white smoke, and we have an American Pope, which was unthought of. Now, this isn't like Vinny from the Bronx. This is a guy who is from Chicago, from your area, from your neck of the woods, who happened to get a degree from Villanova, of all places. I think Jay Wright coached him. Then spent a third of his life to this point in Peru, became a Peruvian citizen, and then a third in Italy. So he speaks fluent Italian, Spanish, English, of course. Just seems like a pretty cool dude. And it was really fun to watch the reaction of people that were there at the Vatican. How about people that were visiting Rome or visiting Italy, were in Rome, happened to be there when the plume of white smoke came up and a new pope was elected. So, again, some people think it's over the top. Some people couldn't care less. But for me, it was really cool to watch. Did you care at all about that? You're not Catholic, right?
I am.
Oh, you are Catholic. So did you care?
No.
Not at all?
Not really. The only thing I like, I think the whole smoke thing, I wish we could use the smoke thing in sports. I wish like draft picks, like when the pick is in, like they would put up a thing of white smoke, and then we know the commissioner's about to come out and announce it. I think if we could use the smoke thing in a lot of areas in sports, it would be like if you're deciding on a new coach. Like if you're got to hire a new coach, like with the Grizzlies, like when they had decided that Isola was the guy, like if you're watching FedEx Forum and they send up a thing of white smoke, like, oh my gosh, they got the new coach. And then they announce who the new coach is going to be. I think the white smoke could be used a lot in the world of sports.
All the smoke. We want all the smoke. Yeah, more smoke in sports.
It's unfortunate that he's a White Sox fan, but
oh, that's why I don't care.
I'm pretty sure that I don't believe the Pope has a chance to turn around the White Sox. I don't believe even the Pope has the power, the connections to get the White Sox to a winning organization.
No, I don't think he has. He has some clout. He knows the big guy.
Although the Cubs got like hoodwinked because somehow came out first that he was a Cubs fan.
Right.
And the Cubs
I saw that.
Thought he was a Cubs fan, and then his brother told WGN that he's a White Sox fan.
Yeah, I was texted something about him being a Cubs fan, and I said, no, he's a White Sox fan. I heard that about the brother, but there was I don't know if it was a Monsignor or whoever it was in Rome who was his buddy for years and years and years, and maybe an American as well, and he was asked that question. He said, no, he's a White Sox fan. He's a White Sox fan. So anyway, I was excited about it. Elijah, are you Catholic?
I am not, but I was very interested in it all.
It's intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just there's something about it, the pomp and circumstance. But anyway, that happened yesterday. So congratulations to Bob, who's now Pope Leo the 14th. But again, there's that Villanova connection. With the big three on the Knicks, they're up 2-0. With Dante DiVincenzo on Minnesota, they won last night, which we'll talk about in a second. I don't know. It's everything's coming up rosy for Nova. They plucked my coach away, Kevin Willard, now at Villanova after coaching at Maryland. So, I don't know. I guess things are going well for that small school, that private school in Philadelphia. So I am extremely happy that Paul Pierce fulfilled his obligation. The guy made a damn bet, and he's a man of his word. He lost and paid the penance, if you will, fulfilled the obligation of having to walk to work. There are other people. Oh, let's see. Mad Dog comes to mind with his bet. Oh, and let's take it back. And don't say it if you're going to spray it. No, don't say it if you're not going to live up to what your bet is. And so Paul Pierce out in Los Angeles walked 20.2 miles from his home in the LA area, not sure where he lives. He walked all the way to the Fox Network lot in Century City in a robe. He left, I'm not sure what time he left, but it took him 7 hours to walk the 20 miles. And it was interesting because there were people drive by who knew who he was. They recognized who he was. I remember the one guy saying, "You better be safe." So there must have been some shady areas he had to walk through to get to where he had to go. But that's a man of his word. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good for him.
Right?
I'm going to doubt there were some real shady areas, but I don't know. I'm going to guess Paul probably lives in a pretty nice area, and I'm sure the Fox studios are probably in a pretty nice area.
Well, I'm not real familiar with where he lives. I'm guessing you're probably right. He probably lives in that Calabasas area and all that. I don't know if you walk through it. You're not going through South Central. You're not walking into the area in Los Angeles where all the homeless people are. What are they, Skid Row? You're not going into those areas. I don't believe you're going anywhere near that stuff. Somebody could correct me. But still, 7 hours of walking, 20 miles to walk is incredible. Now, I got a quick little story. It wasn't a bet that I lost, but when I read and then listened to the video, listened to him talk on the video about the walk, it brought back some memories, not good memories, from when I was a teenager. And I can't remember if I was 16 or 17, but I know that I didn't have a car and I had gotten a ride with a buddy to go to a party that my girlfriend was holding. She was hosting. And it was near my high school, which is 7.5 miles from my house. And so there was no Ubers, there was no Lyfts, there was no buses riding at that time. There was nothing I could do. So one by one, buddies left that had cars. And, of course, I wanted to stay. It was my girlfriend. They're hosting the party. And I stayed and stayed and stayed. Till eventually, nobody was there, and I'm stuck. What do I do? And I tried to go to sleep on her couch down in, like, her basement. And the father comes down and kicks me out of the house. This guy had no passion. Not passion. He had no...
No passion.
No, not passion. What's the word?
Compassion?
Compassion, thank you. It's early. It's early in the morning. He had no compassion for me. And at the time, I'm not realizing that. And at the time, I'm not coming back at him. I wasn't that kind of kid. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I talked to her, and she goes, go in the car. So I went into the parents' car, went in the back seat, laid down to go to sleep. The guy found me in the car, kicks me out again. He says, go home. Now, granted, it's midnight now. Now, I definitely have to walk through a shady area. But at that time, I didn't realize. Now I think about it in retrospect. I go, oh, my God. I really walked through by myself in the middle of the night a really bad area. And I left at midnight or thereabouts. I don't know the exact time. And I got home and fell on my living room couch. And my mom came out and just berated me, of course. My dad had long passed her. I never would have even tried this. At 6 o'clock in the morning. So, Captain Math, 6 hours, basically of walking for 7.5 miles. That sounds slow. I don't know. I probably didn't take the most direct route. But I walked 6 freaking hours, 7.5 miles. Not because I lost a bet, but because I had to get home.
If you're doing the basically 1 mile per hour, yes, that's slow.
Yes.
That would be you could crawl that fast.
Well, again, I may have the time mixed up, but I know the sun was coming up. So could it have come up 5:30? I don't know, maybe. And could I have left a little bit later? Maybe. But it was somewhere after midnight and was somewhere around 6 that I got home. But my gosh, I was, and I'm talking about 16, 17. I'm in damn good shape. And I was so exhausted. This guy, Paul Pierce, who's not in NBA playing shape, walked 20 miles and took him 7 hours. That seems pretty good. But again, I don't know about distance and time and
a 20-minute mile walking should be you should be able to do that.
Yeah, but there's no way you're going to consistently do 20 minutes. You're going to go slower with each passing mile. If you're just a regular Joe. Walking? What do you mean? You don't get tired walking?
I am in terrible shape. I could go walk 5 miles easily right now. I could walk 10 miles right now.
Well, I can walk as well. I walk, I don't run because I get
nothing.
Shin splints. No, but believe me, your body still gets tired. You ever go on a treadmill and walk?
Yeah, I mean, but I go out.
That's a stupid question because he does.
I go out and walk I do walk with my dog. I'll walk 2.5, 3 miles. It doesn't. You're just walking. Who cares?
I know, but we're talking 20. We're talking 20 miles on pavement. 20 miles.
But keeping a pace up, what do you think? He's just going to fall and crawl?
No, but he'll slow down.
You can't. You can't slow down much other than walking.
Yes, you can.
You're walking.
Yes, you can. You can slow down. And who knows if he stopped to go to the bathroom, stopped to grab a coffee. I don't know what exactly he did. I'm just saying I still think that's impressive.
And he's 6'9" or whatever, so he's got big strides to begin with.
Oh, believe me, you don't want to be taking advantage of that because you're going to eventually get more tired, I think. If you're really using that frame to your advantage, it'll be fine early, but it won't be, I think, as you continue the walk. It's easy to say that, but I think you still get tired as hell, even walking distances. I know people will look back, they'll go to Disney World, and they'll go, my gosh, I walked 11 miles. But you didn't do it continuously. You stopped and you ate and you did this, you went on a ride and you stopped and okay. But I can't run a quarter mile because I get shin splints. But walking, I don't get shin splints. So I can walk a lot as well. But again, I remember this vividly, just where I ended at home on the couch, sun coming up, mom berating me, and walking through a really shady area that I didn't realize at the time, or I didn't care at the time. I just did it. My gosh, that was, it's scary that I look back at it and wonder how I was able to make it home safely. But I was able to do it. And Paul Pierce, no problem in getting to the Fox studio. Last night, Minnesota beat Golden State 117-93. That evens the series up at 1. The first game without Steph Curry for Golden State, and it showed.
Yeah, they got some problems. It's just hard for them to initiate offense. Really, Draymond is probably the best guy for them to initiate offense. Pajemski can a little bit, but it's just it's just the attention that Curry draws and everything else makes it a lot easier for everybody else. So when he is not in there, they're going to need Jimmy Butler to go probably somewhat superhuman. Mm-hmm. Obviously, going back home certainly gives them an opportunity, and from their perspective, if you could at least get one of the home games, and then you hope he's back. But it is difficult offensively without him.
Here is a startling number from last night. They started Quentin Post. He played 3 minutes. He was a minus 13. Think about that.
Yeah, it was the 13-0 start to the game that the Timberwolves had.
Exactly. And they got him out of there. They put Kuminga in, and Kuminga did some good things. Kuminga led the team in scoring with 18. But you're absolutely right about Butler. Butler has to be almost superhuman. Hield had 15, which is okay. He's normally an off-the-bench guy, but he has been called upon to score at a high level in the postseason. And that's just an average team without Steph Curry. For Minnesota, Anthony Edwards hurt his ankle, left, came back, started the second half, went for 20, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. I don't think 100%, but still you got a lot of production from Ant-Man. Randall had the big game, 24 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. You got 20 off the bench from Alexander Walker. That was huge. He was really good. Naz Reid, 11. You got 9 from Dante DiVincenzo, hitting some threes. Former Memphis Tiger Josh Minot even got into some action late, played 3 minutes, hit a bucket, went 1 for 2, had 2 points. But, yeah, Golden State is in deep doo-doo until, and maybe not even if, Steph Curry comes back, because there's no guarantee he comes back, first of all. And if he comes back, there's no guarantee that he's ready to rock and roll 100%. So Golden State's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, and then you had Draymond up to his stuff, and then some comments afterwards that make no sense. But it's that is Draymond.
There was the fan altercation, and we're hearing that maybe the fan said something that was racist. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but Draymond Green's now got 5 technical fouls called against him in the playoffs and 2 flagrants. So was it 2 more technicals and is a game suspension?
Yes.
He's got to think of the team. And right now, he becomes that much more important without Steph Curry. So getting into altercations is not beneficial for this team.
Well, I mean, the bottom line, what he did is, like, I don't know what he believes he did to Naz Reid that isn't a technical, but he could say he was trying to sell the foul call, whatever, but when you just flail your arms for no reason and hit a guy in the face, they're going to call that. They're going to call something on that.
Right.
And for him to say they're trying to make him look like an angry black man, no, you're making yourself, because he probably should have got another technical, because they had to take him out of the game to try and settle him down.
Yeah, I didn't know if the angry black man comment was for the altercation with the fan, because if it's just during the game and these technical fouls that he's picking up, I don't get it. I mean, apparently he is an angry black man. He just happens to be black and he's angry all the time. So I don't know. He's always been like that. They've been able to overcome that because he's still a quality player. But when he doesn't have the Batman in the game, and he was never the Robin, he was the Riddler. But in this scenario with Klay Thompson gone now, and yeah, you got Jimmy Butler who's the Robin, but Draymond Green is very important, and he has to try to be on his best behavior, which is easier said than done. Cavs Pacers tonight, Thunder Nuggets tonight. Those series, Cleveland trailing 2-0 in Indiana. Now Pacers with a chance at home to wrap it up, winning 2 games. I don't know if that'll happen, but they have an opportunity. Thunder and Nuggets are 1-1 as the scene shifts to Denver. We'll talk more about those games a little bit later on in the show. And then, of course, real quick, before we take our first break, the big news yesterday from the University of Memphis that Memphis and Louisville have announced a 6-year scheduling agreement that begins on December 13th of this season at Louisville's KFC Yum Center. And there's also a report out there that Memphis is still working on the possibilities of a home-and-home with Alabama. They'd love to renew the Missouri series, even Duke conversations. This comes from Hitman Hoops. As I've talked about before, there's no question that Penny's going to add at least one more quality home game, if not 2, because the schedule right now is lacking. You have Ole Miss, Mississippi State on the road. You have UNLV, San Francisco at home. Those are not, even though they're okay teams, they're not real appealing. So you're going to try to make that home schedule non-conference as best as you can. And again, adding Louisville, it won't start in Memphis until next season. But to have this series back is extremely important. That's the one, I think, that Memphis fans wanted to see, a long-standing rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. And obviously the ACC making their switch from 20 conference games down to 18 opens up spots for those teams. Certainly an opportunity maybe to go find another ACC team or so that you could add to with those open schedule spots that they have now with that change in conference games. But yeah, Memphis, Louisville, that's great to have that, and to make it a 6-year deal, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know if the Duke thing will happen. You know, the Shire want to play another tough non-conference game, but remember you got that Nolan Smith connection. with the Memphis assistant coach having been a former Duke star. Mother's Day is this Sunday, and Dinstall's is preparing all your mom's favorites, from cashew crunch, to truffles, to turtlettes. Don't forget those delicious chocolate-covered strawberries, chocolate-covered grapes, chocolate-covered pineapples. Nobody dips them better, those fruits. Man, and that beautiful, delicious chocolate and fondant from Dinstall's. They're at Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, and downtown Memphis. Don't forget about Pleasant View, where they make the candies. They will be open Sunday 12 to 5 at Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, and downtown for your last-minute gifts. So if you forget Sunday morning, the day of Mother's Day, and you go, oh, my gosh, I didn't get Mom anything, head on down to Dinstall's. You can place your order now, and that tells Mom that you love her. Give her something to smile about. Give her something to enjoy. And that's Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates. They've been putting smiles on people's faces for 122 years. Unbelievable. When we come back, John Varlas will join us from the Daily Memphian. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Extraordinary events from once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family, and the best prices of the year, guaranteed. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you. Happy Mother's Day from Goulds. Give the gift of relaxation. Give the gift of style. Give the gift of Goulds this Mother's Day with a Goulds gift card. Now through May 11th, purchase a $150 gift card in-store and receive a travel kit valued at $47 while supplies last. Goulds is always the right size and fit for professional salon services, spa services, and the best selection of exclusive hair and skincare products in Memphis. Pick up a gift card for mom at any Goulds location. Goulds Salon Spa, turning hands since 1932. Elwood Shack in the Lowe's parking lot on summer just keeps getting bigger and better. Bigger because now there's a second Elwood Shack at 4040 Park across the University of Memphis. And better because you can get breakfast every day at both Elwoods. There's the barbecue breakfast burrito, either beef brisket or pork shoulder, and pancake biscuits made fresh daily. Real house-made pancakes, apple and bacon, French toast, and more. And the new Elwood Beacon has a real coffee bar serving fresh roasted J. Brooks coffee. Elwood Shack, now with 2 locations and open every day for you. This traffic brought to you by Brinson Tax Service. They protect you like family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Certain areas are still seeing some fog out here. Hopefully it'll burn away sooner than later as it starts to crank up pretty good now. Coming up from the south on 55 northbound up through South Haven. All that traffic coming up from DeSoto County towards Memphis. It's increasing with that traffic volume on 40 going westbound. Over here around Hollywood, Warford headed towards the 101 connector. Hey, Dandelions, Crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says, not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions today at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:30 the time. Hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Excited that the weekend is just about here. It's the Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. And every Friday, we talk with John Varlas.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas. On John's prep sports coverage and much more. DailyFan.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. With pros and preps go to get their shot on Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning prep reporter from the Daily Memphian, but he's so much more. He's John Varlas. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. He joins us every Friday. Good morning, JV. John Varlas, brought to you each and every week by the great folks at Shoot 360 Memphis.
Yes, indeed. Shoot 360 Memphis, Greg, like you said, where preps and pros go to get their game on, and even younger than preps, 8, 9, 10 years old. If you're just getting into basketball, and mom and dad, if you're listening, and you got a young person that's getting into basketball, a boy or a girl, the most important thing they can be nowadays is a good shooter, and Shoot 360 Memphis will take care of that for you. They've got the 4 shooting bays at their facility there. In Cordova, they've got the full-size courts, the high school courts, and most importantly, they've got the expert technology that tracks your shot, tells you exactly what you're doing right, exactly what you're doing wrong, and how you can get better. And they provide the expert hands-on coaching at Shoot 360 Memphis as well. So give them a call out there in Cordova on Big Orange Road, 901-779-3176. You can subscribe for a month. You can subscribe for 2 months, for 6 months, any number of subscription plans available. And when you do subscribe, please tell them that JV sent you by using promo code JV2025, and they'll take care of you, and they'll take care of your young hooper. Shoot 360 Memphis. They'll get you right.
We have a lot to get to as the playoffs are underway, postseason action here in the state of Tennessee. Before we do that, each and every Friday, we ask you if there's something you want to get off your chest. You have a bone to pick, JV.
So many bones to pick this week. I have to narrow them down, Greg, and I hope you don't take this one personally, because I'm afraid that you will. But I've got a bone.
Why is it every third week it's something about me?
No, it's not about you. I'm just
Okay.
afraid. I'm just afraid you're going to take it personally.
Okay.
And he already is before you even come out of the phone.
Well, when you started off that way,
Your guess was probably correct.
I've got to. So
all right.
So Roger Daltrey is 81 years old.
Okay.
Pete Townsend's about to turn 80 years old. He's going to turn 80 years old in 10 days. Mm-hmm. And the surviving members of the Who, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, and they're going on yet another farewell tour. These guys. 81 years old, 80 years old. They've announced another farewell tour, and the bone that I have to pick with this,
I'm
Greg,
trying to figure out what this got to do with me.
Well, because I know you get sensitive when we criticize old people doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing, like going on world tours. This is their first farewell tour was in 1982.
Was it really?
Right. So 43 years ago, they had a farewell too. Subsequent to that, they've had several more farewell
How many
tours.
do you know how many farewell tours?
John, you got to pay the bills, my friend.
Pay the bills. Between the two of them, they're worth $250 million, these guys.
First of all, I think you're confusing me with somebody else.
You always get critical when I say stuff about old singers that need
you do,
What
Greg.
are you talking about? Give me one example.
Paul
I don't even know what you
McCartney.
mean.
Yeah.
What?
Every time I've ever criticized Paul McCartney, you get completely offended by it.
BS. No,
that's true.
No.
That's true.
No, it's
100%
not.
true.
No, it's not. No,
Yes,
it's
it is.
not.
100% true.
I'm the first one to admit that Paul McCartney, does he have his voice anymore? No, he does not have his voice
I'm
anymore.
I'm a long time listener, and that's what I was afraid of. I thought you'd be, you'd get into your head a little bit if I said that these old guys shouldn't be touring anymore.
No, I couldn't care less what they do. I don't understand what.
I think they shouldn't be touring anymore, and that's my bone.
You don't have to buy a ticket.
In retrospect,
80 years
in
old,
1982, they probably shouldn't have called that one
4 or 5 different farewell tours. So I guess in 1982, that first one was kind of like a so long tour, and then the next one was like
see you later.
It was like a see you later tour, right? And then it was like a so long, and it was like, well, we'll be back again tour in 2004, whatever.
Right, but it happens. But it happens.
Tour.
It happens.
And then you got
every walk of life.
And now you got David Lee Roth prancing around out there.
I
now
saw
this
that.
week.
That was sad.
He's in his 70s. that's a terrible exhibition. I mean, these guys.
Hell, Ozzy Osbourne are about to throw out there again. Guy's 3/4 dead.
Right, and Roger Daltrey is deaf. I mean,
but I don't understand why you say it offends me. I'm not going to a concert if these guys can't sing.
I didn't say it would offend you. I said I'm afraid it will offend you. I'm glad that it doesn't. So we're all good. But
okay.
But yeah, no, this news with the Who going on yet another farewell tour. I mean,
but why does that bother? Of all the bones you could pick, this is the one you picked.
The Stones are still out there, and I mean, it's just.
But why does it bother you? Like, for people, if they don't care, don't buy a ticket to the damn concerts. I don't get it. I mean, it's like how many times have people come out of retirement in sports?
Not as many as the Who have.
Are you kidding me?
They've been retired for
43 years later.
Are you kidding me? You knows about the fight for a world title?
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
Manny Pacquiao's 46. He's been out of boxing for years.
And that is going to be roundly criticized in most fight circles.
Just fought Mike Tyson.
But again, as Eli points out, we're talking 1982. So I mean, who retired in 1982? I mean, is Robin Yount coming out of retirement, or I can't even think.
I guess if they could still play, they would do it.
Yeah, I mean, but these musicians, they just need to know when to say when, but they can't. And I guess I get it. But
here's what happens: they either die at 29, or they
27,
or 27, or they tour at 85.
The thing is, what they do is they realize that just they can go out and there are enough.
Nostalgia
that will still buy tickets.
Well, it's nostalgic,
and they can make a bunch of money doing it.
And that's the thing too. I don't know who's buying concerts. I mean, tickets to these concerts is when you can, just plug into YouTube and see these guys, from the 60s and the 70s and see them at the height of their powers and their majesty and their brilliance and everything they had, way back then. And now, you got 80-year-old guys doddering out there. The singer can't hear. The guitarist is a shell of his former self. I mean, I think it's sad, but that's my thing, and good. I'm glad you're not offended, Greg. So we can proceed forward with smiles and happiness.
I say to each his own.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. If you don't care to watch them, you don't buy a ticket. If you do because you respect what they've done in their lifetime, in their careers, then you go ahead and buy a ticket. But yeah, to a certain extent, I understand what you're saying. That it can be sad. I mean, I remember the very last years of Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot. That was pretty obscure.
Well, he played here in Memphis at the Orpheum a couple of times, and I had not heard of him or seen him, and he was on tour. I was like, "Oh, let me look him up." He looked like he weighed 80 pounds, like he was really sickly, and then he died. But again, it's very hard for people. Sports is one thing because you eventually. You can't do it physically.
Right.
But if these guys feel they can still go out there and strum a guitar or play the keyboards, they're going to continue to do it. They just don't know when to say when, but it's their decision.
Sure, it's their decision.
And so it's like I'm not going to be doing this.
But they're not,
when I'm real old. I'm telling you, I'm getting old right now. I can see the finish line is coming up soon.
They're not. But that's the point. They're not really able to do it physically. And
well, that's debatable. They may not. Have you heard there's some old singers right now that still sound great.
Who?
James Taylor still sounds great.
Or is he?
Jackson Brown still sounds great
in concert.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay,
I've seen him. Now Paul McCartney does not have the voice anymore.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen. Still sounds great. Still puts on 3 hours.
Yes, he does.
Yes. So, but anyway, all right.
Bruce.
All right, let's talk preps. Let's talk.
I'd rather talk Springsteen.
Well, I could do that for 80 hours straight, continuously. I could filibuster on the boss. So what do we got? Where are we at right now, and what's been happening?
Well, we're in the playoffs, and we're kind of transitioning from one round to the next round in a lot of sports. But yeah, it's been a busy week. Tomorrow's going to be a especially busy day in track. We're going to have the big sectional qualifying meet. Kids will qualify for the state from the large public schools tomorrow at Bartlett. Field events will start at 9 a.m. Running events will start at 1 a.m. And that's the one that's got all the kids we've been talking about this spring. The great girls team from Collierville, the relays from Bartlett. the kids from Central, Miles Naismith and Jeremiah Patton and Marcellus Harris and those guys, Christopher Talley from Whitehaven and the Hurdles. All those kids will be out at Bartlett tomorrow attempting to qualify for state. So that's going to be massive. And again, I urge anybody, if you don't have anything to do tomorrow and you really want to see some tremendous athletes, representing the city of Memphis and trying to compete for a trip to Spring Fling, Bartlett's going to be the place to be tomorrow. There's going to be some tremendous, tremendous young athletes on display.
On the baseball side of things, we have a text from somebody here on the Sicily Log Cabin listener. They give you a true or false question.
Oh, okay.
So you got a 50% chance of getting this one right. I'm going to guess which way they believe is the correct answer, but I'll just throw it out there and you can do true or false.
Let's do it.
Briarcrest has the best pitching staff in the state again, with Finn, Lance Bryan, and Nate Powers, even after losing Gleason, McCready, and Bomar from last year. True or false?
I can't say because I don't know what every pitching staff in the state looks like.
How about in the area?
They've got a really darn good pitching staff, and that's the thing.
This is standardized testing, John. You must give an answer.
Well, I'm gonna say conditionally false because I don't know what else is out there. Best pitching staff in the state is a tall thing, and I don't know what else is out there.
How about in the area where you know all the stuff?
However, Stephen A. Smith. However, they've got a tremendous pitching staff, and what's good about the situation they're in now is they've been able to get plenty of rest between games, and Coach Hopkins is able to line that pitching staff up just the way that they wanted, and that is so important now. They Briarcrest won the region title on, I believe it was Monday. They beat Christian Brothers for the championship, so. Briarcrest will now host Knoxville Catholic in the next round, and so they haven't played since Monday. So they pitched Finn Waters. They pitched Finn Waters, the Texas commit, on Monday. So they got a chance to, they can come back with him in the first game against Knoxville Catholic. And like the texter says, they can come back with Bryan the next game and Powers in the third game if necessary. And then if they were to win that series, which I expect they will, all those guys would get significant rest prior to Spring Fling so they can come back again with the same order. So it's all set up really nicely for Briarcrest.
That's a best of three this next round?
Yeah. So it's all set up really nicely for Briarcrest. And, they've got a tremendous pitching staff. I mean, when you got one kid going to committed to Texas, and he strikes out on average close to 2 batters per inning this season. Lance Bryan is going to Memphis. I'm not sure where Powers is going, but he's awesome as well. I mean, they've got guys that come out of the pen, and Briarcrest has a great pitching staff. Connor Shamblin does a terrific job with those guys. He's a former Briarcrest player who played at Alabama. I think he played at Memphis too, right, Greg?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So he's on the coaching staff now. He does a great job working with Waters and the rest of the pitchers there. So I'll say it's as good as anybody in the state. But again, I haven't seen everybody in the state, so I can't say for sure.
John, how long has Coach Hop been there?
Coach Hopkins he's been there long enough to collect 200 wins. He collected his check out
just at Briarcrest.
That's his only coaching. Yeah. So Craig Hopkins, check out.
Oh, this isn't Jeff Hopkins.
This is Craig Hopkins.
Okay, that's what It's when you're saying Coach Hopkins, I'm like, wait a minute, did Jeff go from?
No,
he retired, right?
Yeah, Jeff Hopkins is well retired.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
he's not like the Who.
He didn't come out of retirement.
Exactly. Yeah. This Who thing. This would be like Jeff Hopkins all of a sudden coming back out to.
Do we have any coaches that fit that bill that have come out of retirement?
No, we
haven't. Come back in this area.
No, we haven't. And most of the
they lost their fastball.
I'm just all over the place with this Who thing, but no, Craig. So this day, the Craig Hopkins Day on Monday. So check this out, May 5th. His team beat Christian Brothers to win the region championship, and they get a home series in the next round, which is very important. It's his 200th career win, and it's his birthday, all on the same day.
Happy birthday, Coach!
How about that for a day?
That's a great day.
That's a great day for Craig Hopkins, right?
That's a great day.
So yeah.
By the way, Nate Powers was one of their pitchers. Any relation to Kenny Powers?
I was thinking the same thing.
Who is Kenny Powers?
Eastbound and Down.
Okay, well,
it's a TV thing. You'd never, you would never possibly watch it.
All right, so Briarcrest obviously in good shape.
They're in good shape. Christian Brothers, by virtue of losing that game to Briarcrest, they're going to have to go on the road for their series against Chattanooga Baylor, and that that makes it tough. The 5-hour travel, and Baylor's a good team as well. So I mean,
where does Baylor get their baseball players from?
The Dominican, right?
I just assume it's like where the football roster is. I assume baseball roster is just full of people from everywhere too.
I'm just assuming the 16-year-olds that haven't been
Cuba,
snapped up by the Dodgers.
Japan,
right?
They're just all over the place. Yeah, here we go. This is just a normal roster we have here at Chattanooga Baylor.
So it is. So I tell the story. I went to a Christian Brothers basketball game a couple of years ago. I think it was Chandler Jackson was still there, so it wasn't that long ago. But they were playing Chattanooga Baylor at Christian Brothers, and the winner went to the state tournament. So the Baylor guy comes and he passes out this roster, right? And the roster has hometowns on it for a high school roster. So we got, one guy's from Chattanooga, but then one guy's from like Iowa, and then one guy's from like Poland, and then one guy's from like Brazil, and I'm like,
it's crazy. I wonder again, with the football roster a couple years ago, they were here. The football roster they gave me that had the hometowns. I believe on the entire football roster there were 3 or 4 kids from Chattanooga.
Wow. I wonder if they vet the baseball players. They find out like the dude was he's a 29-year-old Dominican.
Well,
who played 6 years of minor league ball.
That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough for Christian Brothers, just by virtue of playing a good team on the road. But if they can beat Baylor in that series, they will go to state as well.
Okay.
Last year both Christian Brothers and Briarcrest made it to state. Of course they met in the final with that Briarcrest won, and So I think Division II, the large private division is going to be well represented once again. And to get back to the texter, I think Briarcrest has as good a chance as anybody, especially now because they're starting to hit. Cole Fotopoulos and Luke McGee in particular. They got Landon Rogers at the top of the order, who's excellent. I mean, those guys are starting to hit now. They lost several games early in the season, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. And so if they can if they can keep the bats hot, I mean, they've got a great chance to repeat.
We got to take a break, and we'll talk about some of the public schools that are alive. But real quick off the top of your head, should we win some state titles in baseball?
Well, I don't know about should. I mean, definitely think we have a chance.
Well, of course.
Briarcrest has a great chance. Christian Brothers will be competitive if they can make it. The small private school division, absolutely, with Lausanne, North Point, St. George's, those are all quality teams if they can advance. Out of the next round.
I know they have chances, but
and with the big public schools, Houston and Collierville, I mean, those are two of the best 6 or 7 teams.
Yeah,
in
they're
the
always
state.
there, right?
Yeah,
they're always there.
There's no doubt about it.
I'm just thinking about how disappointing it was with basketball. Came home with 0. So hopefully baseball, softball, whatever, soccer can make up for it. Had we had one football championship this year?
1 football and 2 runners up.
Okay. All right, we'll take a break. More John Varlas when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Andy Wise here. I'm an actual customer of Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis in the Mid-South. I was so impressed, I endorsed Pella as the standard in affordable luxury. And now, Pella's even more affordable. 12 months, no interest, no payments, plus 50% off installation. Mention you heard this on the radio and get another $500 off. I'm telling you, as your consumer investigator, as their customer, make the wise choice of Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis in the Mid-South.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199. Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finished with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. We can't wait to serve you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from.
Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday.
Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Now, back to Sports 56 Morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:52 is the time. John Varlas joining us. All right, John, what else we got as far as the public schools for baseball? And you can get into softball, soccer, time permitting, get into whatever you need to.
Yeah, tomorrow at Patriot Bank Park in Collierville, which is just an amazing facility there at the new high school. If nobody's ever been, high noon, it's going to be Houston and Collierville in the Region 8 4A tournament. Sixth meeting this year between those two teams. They met twice in the regular season. They met 3 times during the district tournament since it was a double elimination. Collierville ended up winning the district tournament, so that's why they're hosting tomorrow. Big game there. Both of those teams have assured themselves passage into the sectional round, where the winner of Region 8 will meet the runner-up from Region 7 and vice versa. The champion from Region 7 will meet the runner-up from Region 8. And that's going to be a very competitive series because Region 7 is most likely going to end up being Clarksville and Rossview, and both of those teams are very good as well. So Clarksville, Rossview, Collierville, Houston, that's probably 4 of the best 10 teams in the state right there.
Are the losers eliminated?
The losers of that round will be eliminated.
Okay.
2 of those guys will advance to Spring Fling. It's going to be an 8-team tournament. At Spring Fling, 2 of those teams will advance, but 2 really good teams will get eliminated in that sectional round. So some high-stakes baseball coming up in 4A involving Collierville and Houston. And again, you're going to want to get your pitching right. Collierville's going to want to make sure that Ari Bethea and you know, those guys are well rested. Houston, same thing. You know, its pitching is just so key.
Aren't they spaced enough where it works out that way?
You know, there will be some rest in between, so yeah, they'll get a chance. But I mean, you know, once you get to the state tournament, you know, then there's no rest. It's back to back to back, and you may even have to play twice in one day, you know, if you drop into the losers bracket. So it's just so important. It's a fun time of year. It's fun to watch these coaches, you know, manage things and try to predict and say, okay, should I throw my ace in the first game and make sure we get a win, or enhance our chances to getting a win, or should I save him in case we need him for an elimination game? It's, you know, so many variables in high school baseball, and that's what makes it so much fun.
It's just like when you deal with especially like the SEC tournament, because you're how good it is when you're at the teams, and then you got to play so many games in so many days, and then the College World Series, all that stuff, that you got to have depth. So the game tomorrow with Houston and Collierville, that's just a one-game deal?
That's a one-game deal, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What about softball or soccer, anything else?
Soccer was incredible this week. So again, Houston and Collierville, they met in the district championship game, or the district semifinals. So to provide some context, Houston and Collierville played on April 30th, and Houston won the match 5-0. You know, complete domination for Houston in that one. And these two guys are rivals. I mean, this is Auburn, Alabama. This is, you know, this is Real Madrid and Barcelona. This is the rivalry. This is the big one. So Houston won that match 5-0. Collierville comes back in this game this week, the tournament game, which was an elimination game. Collierville was the 4 seed. Houston was the 1 seed. Collierville, after losing 5-0, they're leading the match 2-1, and there's 4 minutes left in the match. And Houston scored 2 goals in the final 4 minutes of the match, and they pulled out the victory and kept their season alive. So just incredible victory for Houston. Congrats to Coach Wolf and all the guys over there, but at the same time, heartbreaking for Collierville to have played so well after, you know, playing so poorly just a week prior. You know, that's it. That's sports right there, man. That match had a little bit of everything. And then, you know, of course, the other half, Bartlett and Arlington too, they're rivals as well. Bartlett beat Arlington 4-2. Kind of a similar situation. It was tied late. Bartlett got the go-ahead goal, and then they kind of got an insurance goal late. Absolutely incredible free kick. This kid named Max Steele hit this free kick basically from Raleigh all the way to Bartlett. It's one of the longest and best free kick goals you'll ever see. So shout out to Bartlett and Houston. They've moved on to the region, and you know, both of those teams, if they get to state, will be very, very competitive, and both of them will have a chance to win a title.
I don't know the history of soccer in the region, like going back years and years and years and years, but is Coach Wolf like the best soccer coach, high school coach in this area in history?
Yeah, I mean, I sincerely, I was thinking about this
True or false?
True or false?
I was thinking about this honestly the other day, Greg. It's funny you mentioned it. I think he's going to end up in the TSSAA Hall of Fame at some point. I mean, you know, he came here from California. His first job was at Ridgeway. He won a couple of state championships at Ridgeway. You know, which, you know, kind of looking at it in the perspective of 2025 is really hard to believe that, you know, Ridgeway won state soccer championships, but they did with Coach Wolf. And then he's moved on to Houston, subsequently coaching boys and girls. I'm not sure of the number, but, you know, boys and girls combined, you know, you're talking double-digit state championships, 10, 11, you know, when you combine boys and girls. You know, on the girls' side, he's won a national championship, USA Today national championship. He's
That's
had
impressive.
Undefeated seasons. This past season, when they won the state championship, was an undefeated season on the girls' side. Over 800 career wins when you combine boys and girls. So, yeah, that's a Hall of Fame resume.
That is.
And I sincerely believe and think and hope that one day he will be in the TSSAA Hall of Fame. I mean, he deserves it. He really does.
John, great stuff. I know JV will be busy. He'll have you up to date with everything that's going on in prep, so make sure to get a subscription to the Daily Memphian. Follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Catch him every Friday right here on the program. And again, next Friday you're in studio. It's the Friday after that the Spring Fling's going on?
Correct, yeah. We'll probably be out at the track meet tomorrow. Maybe Bob Beeman will show up, coming out of retirement, or Edwin Moses or somebody. See if they still got it.
The Toad
Roger
guy.
Daltrey.
Is the Toad guy, is he back?
Thankfully, the Toad guy will not be there. It's all going going to be all about the kids today.
John Varlas, brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. Give them a call in Cordova at 901-779-3176 and Collierville 901-316-5500. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. Again, use the code JV2025. We'll take a timeout, come back with hour 2. Again, we'll get back into that Memphis-Louisville news from yesterday. Big news on the college basketball front. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Briggs Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Briggs Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines of the largest match ovens in the Mid-South, Briggs can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Briggs Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Briggs Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or BriggsPowderCoating.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's also increasing here in the last few minutes on 40 East as you come across the Hernando de Soto Bridge over from West Memphis, coming down through Marion there in West Memphis, also on the increase. Watching it build southbound. Austin P getting up on that ramp to I-40 as you continue 40 going westbound over to the 101 connector. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your diamond engagement ring headquarters. Go see them this weekend and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Brett Mooresworthy and Brian Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Diamonds are forever. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers with you on this Friday, May 9th, 2025. Getting you set for the sports weekend. We're live and local, broadcasting from the family Leisure Studios, Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Going to be a pretty nice day. Currently 62 degrees, going to get up to about 75. Some clouds early, then partial clearing. We'll see a little bit of the sun this afternoon. Very minimal chance of precipitation at about 12%. Then tonight, overcast with a low of 58, a little nippy. I like it. Cloudy skies, and then tomorrow, cloudy Saturday. Really low chance for rain, so just a cloudy day. 71 degrees for your high, 59 for your overnight low. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers, part of the Memphis fabric for 60 years. They started out on Summer Avenue many, many moons ago. They've been at their current location now for over 3 decades, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. I'm going to remind you one more time, but you probably know by now. Sunday's Mother's Day. Get something special for mom, and jewelry always makes a great Mother's Day gift, whether it be a beautiful watch, earrings, pendant, necklace, bracelet, whatever the case may be. They also have one-of-a-kind custom-made jewelry, antique jewelry, estate jewelry at James Gaddis Jewelers. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4. So if you wake up Sunday morning and forgot to get mom something, unfortunately, you're shut out. You can't get it from James Gaddis Jewelers. You can go over to Target, but you can't get it at James Gaddis Jewelers. So go visit them today or tomorrow. And also, if you're planning on getting engaged this year, that's the place for you. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters with all those new sparkling diamonds in from Antwerp. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, full-service jewelers ready to serve you. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know that Memphis and Louisville have met 90 times in men's basketball, with the Cardinals leading the all-time series by the count of, or did I add this right? Let's see. Actually, 54. Yeah, that's right. 54-36. Louisville leads the all-time series 54-36. If you missed the news yesterday, the schools have agreed on a 6-game deal. It will start this upcoming season in Louisville on December 13th at the KFC Yum Center. And we were talking to John before he walked out of here about rivalries. And I said, how big is Memphis-Louisville, although it has not happened in a while, and it's not this continuous annual affair? And he made a good point about, do people in Iowa care about that? No, but I don't, or Idaho. I don't think people care in a lot of places about any college basketball rivalry other than maybe Duke, North Carolina. There's not a lot of great basketball rivalries in history, but I would think for basketball purists that know the game, they understand Memphis and Louisville has a history. And I just talked about the history with 90 games. So I think this is great that it's back on the schedule.
Yeah, it's great that it's back on the schedule. But yeah, I mean, in college basketball, like, the rivalries don't, other than Duke, North Carolina, there is nothing that matters on a national level in college basketball.
I agree.
It just, rivalries in college basketball are generally regional or local. From Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky probably is one of the better on a national level that people do recognize because of the history of those two programs and what they've done, and obviously the locale of them. But generally, most college basketball rivalries are simply a regional type thing, whether it be the schools in Cincinnati or the schools in Philadelphia or whatever. But that doesn't matter outside of those. Memphis-Louisville is a good regional rivalry that matters certainly to folks in Memphis to play Louisville, matters to people in Louisville to play Memphis. So great to have that on the schedule. And it's again, the fact that they made it a 6-year deal and it's not just a 2-year home and home deal that for the next 6 years those two teams are playing. That's great. Hopefully when that's done, they'll do it for another 6 and they'll continue to play that game year after year after year, because it's a good game that matters, and that's great to have.
Schools can obviously have multiple rivals, but in this case, even though it's a long-standing rivalry that's being resurrected, if you will, it's the second, if that, for Louisville, because Kentucky is always going to be number one. I'm not even sure if Memphis is 2 on that list, but it may be because, again, fans that have been around for a long time know the history. But for Memphis, I think Louisville is number 1. Because others that you would consider, Cincinnati, which again, no longer in the conference, they're gone, but I would always put Louisville ahead of Cincinnati. And then where else are you going after that? Certainly it's not Tennessee basketball, although you would love to see those games. Obviously, Rick Barnes, it ain't going to happen while he's there. It's happened in the past. It's been great. Nobody can take away the memories of 1 versus 2 when Pearl was there at Tennessee and came to Memphis. But I think historically, Louisville's the best rivalry. Some could say, well, maybe Memphis and UAB have a pretty good history. Well, it's not maybe. They have a good history. But I wouldn't put that one, even though they're back playing against each other, being in the same conference, the American, I wouldn't put that on top of Louisville. I think the history, the big games, the important games, the meaningful cast of characters for both squads, the coaches, that Louisville's the most meaningful team that Memphis could play, and it just happens to be a rival. And fans can disagree if they want, and they can text in and let me know on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines, 901-360-8255. But I think this is historically numero uno for Memphis. Again, for Louisville, it's not. But it's probably number 2, and it's still significant. It's just like Alabama, Tennessee in football. It's a great rivalry. But Alabama's biggest rival is Auburn. It's the Iron Bowl. So Tennessee will always be second.
Well, I certainly think just from a historical perspective, this is the biggest. Again, you're talking about they've played 90 times. They've been in, I don't know how many different conferences together. I mean, just from the history of it, certainly,
right.
It makes it the biggest thing. You know, there are, I'm sure, people that would rather play Tennessee right now or something like that. But just from a history perspective, I don't think there's really any argument as to who the most kind of historic rival is for Memphis basketball, being Louisville.
And once again, kudos to Penny Hardaway, who, since he arrived at his office at the University of Memphis to become the head coach, has been diligently trying to put together the most challenging schedule he can for several reasons. One, you play in a bad conference. So you have to make it formidable. You have to go out there and win those games, and they have done that in the past few years, but you have to make the schedule formidable. 2, you have to make it formidable and impressive enough to fans to buy tickets. And that still continues to be an issue because you have to have a few buy games on there against opponents. You're not going to play all 13 of those non-conference games, and you're normally in a tournament, which they're going to be in again this year, against really tough opponents. You're going to have a couple of cream puffs in there that are going to be buy games. But you have to make the schedule as attractive as you can for people to buy tickets. So it's a dilemma in a certain regard. It also takes 2 to tango. You are trying to get some of these prominent programs to sign a deal with you for at least a home and home. And they just happen to get a 6-year deal with Louisville. And that's why there's that story out there yesterday from Hitman. And I don't think this is a surprise that Penny is targeting a return of the Missouri series, which wrapped up this past season. Alabama, hoping to get a home and home. They played them last year in an exhibition game. Even Duke, that Nolan Smith connection. I guarantee you there's not a stone unturned with Penny Hardaway trying to do that schedule. And that's something I'm sure that is also something Dr. Scott wants to see, Dr. Ed Scott, because they know you got yourself into the position you did last year as a 5 seed because you went out and played a formidable non-conference schedule and won a bunch of the games. You have to win the games, but you have to get them on the schedule first of all. And so that is a challenge, and he has been up for the challenge every single year. You can criticize in certain areas, do whatever you want. There is no criticizing Penny. Penny, when he says all the smoke, he means I'll play, will play, any team, anywhere, anytime. He absolutely means that. That isn't just horse crap. That is reality. That's the truth. They're not backing down against anybody, but they also know that they have to play that type of schedule. So I would expect that you're going to get a pretty good name or two added to the few games that they still have to fill, the holes they still have to fill in the schedule for the home portion of the schedule. And then probably a couple of bye games against, maybe they'll play Alabama State again, Tony Madlock's team, or something like that.
Yeah, the one thing that I was a little surprised with the Louisville series starting on the road. I would have thought, based on the way it sets up, that and it may have just been that Louisville it had to be at home for them.
Right.
But they've got, by my math, they should have 5 openings on their non-conference schedule now, because the tournament they're playing in is only a 2-game tournament, so they can have 29 other games, and they've got 6 of those set now, with UNLV, San Francisco, and New Orleans at home, with Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Louisville on the road. So you got 5 openings there.
Obviously, 18 conference,
need some home games in that. And again, I would, the ACC making the decision to go from 20 to 18 conference games. Obviously, everybody in that conference has 2 openings on their schedule, and they're doing that in order to play theoretically some quality non-conference opponents. So these teams now all have 2 spots, and obviously Louisville being one of those. So there's might be another opportunity. Of course, you've just played Clemson. You've played Virginia here recently. So getting some of these ACC opponents might be a possibility, as well as they all try and fill out their schedules with those 2 extra non-conference spots.
And again, Monday begins the NBA Draft Combine in Chicago, where PJ Haggerty is a part of. And so, we'll see what comes of that as far as what the NBA personnel think of his possibility of being a first-round pick. From the preliminary information that's been out there, that's not the case. But, you go out there and you perform admirably and dominate, it's a whole different ballgame. So who knows? But maybe we'll get a little bit more clarity after that. You would hope you would. And then he'll decide what he wants to do, whether stay in the draft, which I don't think he will, or go back to school. Again, where he'll end up is still the $64,000 question. But the Combine will begin on Monday in Chicago. Of course, Monday night will be the draft lottery in the NBA. So that is intriguing as well. There's a lot of things that will be happening here over the next few months, leading up to the NBA draft and free agency and things of that nature. But for college, it's about these other players who have put their name in the hat for the NBA, but have also left their options open to go back to school, or maybe to go to a different school by jumping in the portal, which is something Haggerty did. And we'll see what happens with that. We talked in the first hour a little bit about Paul Pierce, and I wanted to jump back into this for those who did not hear the story. Paul Pierce had made a bet. I don't even know if did he bet anybody directly. I think he just threw it out there, right? So he was getting nothing in return. But he basically said that if the Celtics lose game 2, that he would walk to work. Not basically. That's what he said. But he goes, there's no way they're losing game 2. And nobody in their right mind thought they were losing game 2. So they lost. And he's a man of his word. I give him a lot of credit, because we have seen people make bets, ludicrous, stupid bets out there, namely Mad Dog, which still pisses me off, and not fulfill it. So his bet was to walk to work. He thought he lived about 15 miles from the Fox studio where they tape that podcast he does and other work he does, but it was 20.2 miles. And it took him 7 hours from the story I read, 7 hours to walk it. Now, do you think that's slow? Or was it Vardas that said he thought it was a little slow?
He said, though, I think it's, I've said earlier, I think it's kind of like a 20-minute mile walking, I think that's would make sense.
Well, here's the thing. The assumption is that he's walking continuously, that he doesn't stop for anything. He's in a robe, by the way, too. The other thing you got to take into consideration is the terrain. I don't know where he lives, but the L.A. area in a lot of places is hilly or mountainous. And I'm guessing he's probably the Calabasas area. I'm guessing. But that's just a complete guess. And we can find that information. Maybe you can find that, Elijah, where exactly he lives and where his route was. But again, I think that you slow down a little bit too. That you don't have to be the most well-conditioned athlete. And Paul Pierce is not basketball playing Paul Pierce.
It took him 8 hours.
But he's not a
8
slob.
hours and 2 minutes.
Okay, it said so. It changed. Okay, it was 7 hours initially.
He posted the route.
Okay, so 8 hours for 20 miles. What do you think? 360-8255, 901-360-8255. First of all, again, he is a man of his word. Paul Pierce, who was here for Tony Allen's jersey retirement, it was cool to see him there.
Did he do it barefoot? Because he said he was going to do it barefoot. Did he do it barefoot?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't think he actually did.
I can't imagine.
If you did it barefoot, I mean, first of all, you ripped up your feet. I mean, his feet were hurting after he did it, but that was with shoes or sneaks. I mean, can you imagine barefoot? No way. You've destroyed your feet. You could be going over some rocky terrain. I mean, you could walk on glass or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. So, yeah, I can understand him. Everything else, man of his word. Lost the bet, made the walk. To me, that's still impressive. And like you said, I can walk. You can walk a lot. I can't run because I get shin splints. Not because I'm in the worst shape. I'm in pretty decent shape for my age, going to the gym and all that. But I go on the what do you call it? What's the thing you walk on?
Treadmill.
The treadmill. That's what I do. I do the treadmill. I walk. If I try to run, I'm getting shin splints. So I can't do it. That's why I'm always amazed by runners. It blows my mind. Then you get to the marathoners and things like that. That's absolutely nuts. But walking, yeah, if you have proper hydration, right? Maybe take a break, grab a little something to drink there on the side of the road, sit for a few minutes. Continuously 20 miles, though. I don't know how many people can continuously walk 20 miles. That's a lot. Like I said, you may look at your phone after a day at Disney and realize that you walked 11 miles, 9 miles, 10 miles, whatever the case may be. But you're stopping and starting, getting up, sitting down.
So I just did the math. He would have been consistently walking over that stretch 2.46 miles per hour over that 8-hour, 2-minute stretch.
Now that I have no understanding of what that relates to as far as, is that good, bad?
I think that's a pretty brisk walking pace, especially for that long.
I mean, it sounds like 2.4 miles an hour. Doesn't that sound like that to you?
No, I don't.
It doesn't.
I think of walking as probably a 20-minute mile. And I don't ever time it right, but I would. My guess would be walking would be about a 20-minute mile.
He's no Dave Waddle. I understand that.
3 miles per hour, but yeah, I don't know for sure. But I would say 2.5, something like that, is probably fairly average. And again, for a 6'9" guy, it's a little different than a 6-foot guy.
All right. Okay, we'll take a break. When we come back, the Power 4 commissioners did meet yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Steve Macy will join us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got Steve Macy coming up at 8:30. I'm sorry. Steve Macy. Then we'll get into the talk about the 16-team playoff, as opposed to the discussion we had yesterday, thinking that maybe 14, which was the conversation for a while, that would be on the docket first. And it may still very well be, but after the conversations yesterday, it looks like the lean, according to reports, is 16. So we'll discuss that later on in the show. We got some Major League Baseball to get into as well, some more college football news. But again, when we come back, we'll talk about Sunday's big Mother's Day game for the Showboats, as they will take on the Battlehawks of St. Louis at 2 o'clock at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 912-715-5199.
Hi, this is Troy 5 owner of 5 Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a mother pheasant plucker, I pluck mother pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call 5 Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
This traffic report on Sports 56 is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South Pella Windows. The standard is affordable luxury.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's gotten heavier coming down I-40 westbound. Here are the last few minutes from Germantown Parkway all the way down to Sycamore View Road as you come inbound on Sam Cooper. Looks like it's picked up quite a bit. Midtown traffic's moving around a little bit more than it was with some volume a few minutes ago as we check it out here on 240 up by Lamar. Dandelions, Crabgrass, Lawn Solutions here in town says not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:27 the time. Halfway home on this Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings, getting you set for the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, going to be busy around here. Got Memphis playing baseball in a big series starting tonight against Tulane. And the Showboats on Sunday on Mother's Day back home. It's been a while. They will take on the St. Louis Battlehawks at 2 o'clock. And very pleased to be joined by a good friend of ours, Steve Macy. He's the Showboats Vice President of Team Business and Event Operations. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Macy. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing great. I know you've been busy running around, getting things in order for Sunday's game, and we've been talking a lot about things that you guys will have going on not only Sunday but for the rest of the season, as you got 3 more home games before the season wraps up. So the final 4 games, 3 of them at home.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned earlier. It's been a while. It's been a month almost since we've had a home game. So we were, as a staff, talking about trying to remind ourselves how to run a game. We were talking about scripting and said, all right, so we have to be where at what time. We were kind of joking around, but part of it was true. Was all right, what time are we going to set up? But yeah, it's going to be a little sprint here at the end with the 3 home games in 4 weeks, and hopefully get back on the winning side. It's been just so many close games this year, and Eli, you know it probably better than anybody having to call them on the radio. Heartbreak at the end, but I'm looking forward to what we're able to do here at the end of the season. With we've announced that we're going to allow kids 12 and under free for our remaining home games, as well as having $2 hot dogs and $2 beers for the remainder of the games this season. So a couple things that we're doing to hopefully enhance the game day atmosphere for our fan base.
Yeah, the $2 hot dogs, $2 beers. A little, can radio guys, can we do that during the games or not? $2 hot dogs, $2 beers is hard to pass up.
No, it is. I mean, I think you can do it. I'm not running and getting them for you though. You're gonna have to hustle down from the booth and hustle back during the timeout.
I'm not
you're
making things difficult.
All those close losses, you may need a few beers.
I could have used them for both Houston games. I'll tell you that much. But
well, there's a little bit of truth to that for sure.
That is let's start first of all with the kids. I mean it's great. Through a partnership now with the FedEx St. Jude Championship. They're doing it for the rest of the season, but obviously great for kids 12 and under to be able to come on out. It's already an affordable ticket. Now you throw in the kids for free. That's great you want to get the kids out there and let them have a good time.
It is. I was talking to Joe Tomek, who runs the tour event here, and he was talking about it. He was saying, people don't really know that if you're 15 and under, you get into our tournament forever. It's been that way. And I said, well, dude, I've bought kids tickets forever. And he started laughing. He goes, well, thank you. But we were talking about that. I said, I think we're going to try to do that. He goes, well, let's work together on that. He goes, because obviously we want to promote that and let people know and remind people that it's, our event is a family friendly thing too. He goes, let us support that. And then we'll do some marketing together at your game. So it's been a great partnership and I think it works really well. And, when we first brought the showboats to Memphis 3 seasons ago, a couple of things we talked about was being good community partners and also making it affordable for families. And I think both of these efforts that we've assigned Skipper our marketing role, and so we've said that this is coming from him. But obviously, that's just been kind of a fun way to send the information out. Yeah, this is an opportunity for us to make this very family friendly and family affordable.
Well, it's very interesting because it may not be that people realize these things. But as you said, well, this is recent with you guys announcing that 12 and under you get in free for the remaining games. And then what Joe Tomek said, I had no idea till you just said it. And then how many times do we have Mickey Barker on, Eli, who talks about the junior golfers and don't they have also times where they could play free or whatever?
The kids get to play free on the city courses. Now, I think Galloway and Audubon not included there, although the 6-hole course at Audubon. But yeah, they let kids play for free.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different opportunities, especially in the sports world, where you can, the kids can partake in things and you can save money also and make it economically friendly for families. And like you said, Steve, that's what it's all about, is making sure that it's affordable for everybody.
And I think that's outside of just the showboats, which obviously I'm most interested in, but I think that it's a testament to a lot of the organizations in this city that we do try to make things easier for families and easier for kids to participate. And I think that's a great point about the city courses, being available for kids for free, and that's all summer long, I think, right?
It's all year round.
Year round. So I mean, that's a cool thing that I think maybe we all ought to sit down and work together with some sort of marketing plan about how sports is accessible for kids in this town and work together. It's a great point to bring up, Greg. I got to give that some more thought and maybe meet with Joe and see if we can bring some others into the fold on this conversation.
Well, and then, obviously, somebody could say, hey, if kids are 12 and under free, I'll bring a bunch of kids out there. And then you're like, oh, but then I got to feed them all. But you got $2 hot dogs too. So you're still it's not that expensive to feed them all.
No, right. I mean, that was the other part of this was we went to the stadium and just said, look, we'd like to we'd like to offset the cost savings. We already had inexpensive concessions. We had already worked with them to have $5 on a lot of these same items, and they've been just awesome to work with. And, Brian Hoffman's the GM out there. He's been great to deal with. And Duke Young, who's been running the concessions there since the dawn of time, they're amazing to work with. And then we came back and said, hey, we want to try this $2 and see if we can generate a few more folks to want to come to the game because we've made that so much more affordable. And they said, yes, we're going to buy them out, and we're contributing to that price difference. But for us, we wanted to try and see if having that, whether you want to call it the Masters style or the Atlanta Falcons style of cheap concessions or inexpensive concessions, can be a driver of attendance. And so we're gonna work on that. That's going to be one of those two major impacts of the couple of things we're working on. We've got some other things going on for the final two games, but those two things are going to be the staple of the last three games.
You just mentioned a couple of names of the people that you're dealing with. I'm very curious if things have changed the way the stadium is run, because now the University of Memphis, one of your former jobs, is now running the show with that stadium. Do you deal with them at all, or do you deal with an independent party? How does that work?
So Brian and the staff over there, they are all employees of a management company that runs many facilities around the country, and it's the Oakview Group, and they are in charge of running the stadium. And so and also of the grounds. So they've got two separate contracts now, one with the university to run the stadium and everything inside the halo, and then with the city to run the rest of the fairgrounds.
Oh.
So it's really been seamless for me, other than we had to go through some contract stuff and reassign who's responsible and who owns what pieces. Other than that, it's been seamless because Brian and his staff have been consistent with working with us. Even when Thomas Carrier, who we all know, was here, he was part of the Oakview Group. He had formerly been a city employee, then he transitioned over to the Oakview Group. So that's who runs the stadium. So I've not noticed any sort of change in terms of how things are operating. It's still been the same professional group that runs the stadium and that we get to work with every week.
The Sunday, obviously, not only it's Mother's Day, we're talking about it's Skipper's birthday too, right?
It is, and we're going to have some of Skipper's friends there. We're going to have the Pouncer will be there. We'll also have Rocky there. We'll also have the Magician from Lemoyne-Owen. We're going to have the Lemoyne-Owen band playing, so it'll be a lot of fun having an HBCU band as part of our game day atmosphere all game long. They'll be putting on a little concert pregame, and then they'll be in the stands all game long. We've got a lot of things we put into this game and tried to make it a little bit of fun. And again, a lot of this is geared towards making sure that families know they're welcome and invited to come be part of the showboats. It's, we've got to continue to build this for the long term, and that's what we're trying to focus on, is making sure that we can grow the fan base, because the TV ratings continue to be phenomenal, and the disconnect between the TV ratings and the folks in the stands has got us scratching our heads a little bit, and we just got to continue to try to build that affinity here in Memphis for the showboats, which is, as I've said many times, this is the first time Memphis has ever had a professional team play 3 consecutive seasons. And that's hard to believe. We've tried 8 times, and so this is here to stay. And I just, I'm hoping that we'll continue to beat that drum, that fans in the town will say, okay, this is our team. We're ready. We're going to adopt this. We're not going to get burned again. Let's go ahead and head down to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium and have some fun for 3 hours.
Well, one of the teams that certainly hasn't had too many issues with attendance is St. Louis, the team we play Sunday. Even with a situation, I don't know if it was last weekend or the weekend prior, they had a Blues playoff game and a Cardinals game at the same time and still drew pretty well. So they've drawn well. Do you expect St. Louis? I don't know if anybody has their fan base travel. Are there going to be some St. Louis Battlehawks fans coming down to the game Sunday?
There will be, and I think that's one of the things, Greg, that we've seen a lot more of this year is visiting fans traveling. We had quite a few fans, about 75 or so, that went down to Birmingham to watch the Showboats beat the Stallions a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time we'd seen that many folks travel. St. Louis does have a pretty good contingent of fans that are coming down. They've been working with our ticketing staff to kind of get themselves in one place so they can congregate together, but I think there's going to be pockets of them kind of all over the place. This is we definitely have our highest sales number of the season for this game in terms of single games. And part of that's St. Louis, but also part of it's just been kind of the marketing things we've thrown out to get people excited. But I think there will be Battlehawk fans wearing their Battlehawk blue and saying "Cacao is the law," or whatever it is, the idiot thing they say. And hopefully we can send them back to St. Louis sad as we'd like them to.
All right, so folks who want to get tickets, how do they do it?
So a couple of ways. You can go to uflshowboats.com, uflshowboats.com. The kids' tickets that are free, you need to go to our website and follow the link because there's a special place to go for those. And then, or you can get them at the box office. On game day, that box office opens 90 minutes before kicks. That'll be open at 12:30, and it's right there by gate 1. Really, it's going to be, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty good. Got a chance of showers in the morning. The rest of the day looks like it's pretty clean. So really looking forward to having a lot of fun on Mother's Day. And, there's kind of two ways to do this, right? Get your tickets and dads bring the kids to give mom the afternoon off, or mom bring the kids and, feed them hot dogs and, save yourself having to cook. So a lot of different ways to enjoy the day. And this is going to be, one of the 3 remaining home games we still have this year. Excited to bring it back to Memphis.
All right, Steve. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Have a great day on Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Go Boats.
Take care, Steve. Steve Macy, he is the Showboats Vice President of Team Business and Event Operations. I didn't want to put him on the spot, but you'll probably have the answer to this. Beer, $2. I mean, you can't beat that. Hot dogs, $2. Is a soda a regular price? Or is that $2 as well?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't want to embarrass him in the case that wasn't the case, but I don't know. Usually it's the other way around, right? The whole Coastal Carolina thing, where it's the free food, not $2, but free food includes soda and water. Does not include beer. Now, beer for $2, you can't beat that anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know for sure what if there's other things included in that $2 like soda. I have no idea as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, and I would think maybe for next year, years in the future. And again, like he said, what did he say, 8 tries now? And this is the first time for 3 straight years for a football team? Mm-hmm. That is incredible. But maybe for down the road, especially when the stadium renovations are done, they're complete, to have if you have another game that happens to be on Mother's Day, a Mother's Day brunch and things like that for, make it a little bit more enhancing and enticing for mom. Certainly, that I think these are things that they do with the marketing to try to think outside the box, think of more things for the future. They also had the recent, the CBA was done, right? The collective bargaining agreement between the players and...
Yeah, they officially signed it.
They officially signed that. So that's good news again. So even though, as Steve said, there's not been a lot of people in the stands really at most of the venues, with St. Louis being an exception, the TV ratings are really good, and people seem to like it. And now you're trying to figure out how to get more people into the stadium, but it means that it's probably going to be around for another year and hopefully for years to come. So this is one that has sustainability as far as a spring football league is concerned.
And again, when we talk about these kids 12 and under free, the $2 hot dogs, $2 beers, all this stuff, that's not just for this week. That is for the final 3 games of the season, final 3 home games of the season. So if you can't come out this Sunday, there are a couple of other games that you could come on out and take advantage of that, bring the kids out, again, gather up the kids. Heck, if you have a little a soccer team or whatever, bring the entire team. All free if they're 12 and under.
Yes.
It's a pretty darn good deal. And again, it's going to cost you $2 for a hot dog so you can feed them for very cheap as well.
And kids, make sure to bring your real driver's license to prove your age. Just kidding.
Got to have the real ID.
The real ID.
We have passed the deadline.
All right. We'll take a time out. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Spring is in in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with the high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? We have it covered at Humminger's. It's quick, and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. Many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humminger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humminger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Once again, the battle for the Golden Egg, the Egg Bowl game between Ole Miss and Mississippi State will be played on Black Friday. So this year it will be in Starkville, 11 a.m. kickoff for Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And also on Black Friday, Texas and Texas A&M will go at it as well. You got the NFL on that Friday. It's going to be very, very busy. And, of course, Memphis will be playing on Thanksgiving once again on that Thursday. So there you go. A little scheduling news involving Ole Miss and Mississippi State that it will once again be on Black Friday.
Yeah, move the kickoff time up a little bit as they get the 11 a.m. slot. I think they're trying to avoid the NFL game a little bit more this year. Still trying to kind of feel that whole thing out with the NFL putting that one game on Black Friday. So, but that's they've kind of moved some of these away from Thanksgiving because of obviously the NFL and the 3 games that they have on Thanksgiving Day now with the game at night beyond the 2 normal afternoon games. So the NFL continues to take over and college football trying to find their spots around that to schedule these rivalry games on that final week of the regular season.
According to a report, Bill Belichick's girlfriend Jordan Hudson has been banned from the North Carolina football facility. There is deep worry for how detrimental Jordan can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy and reputation. Everything he has built and worked for over decades. A family source has told Pablo Torre of ESPN.
Interesting. Again, she is. It has not been. She's not brought great attention to this point.
How does he react to that? But maybe more importantly, how does she react to that? if at all?
Based on what the little bit we know, and we don't have a lot of it's just reporting stuff, I'm going to guess she didn't react well.
Did she have a 12-year-old temper tantrum? She's not that far removed from 12 years old, but yeah, that's not shocking, I guess, that it was going to come down to that. Major League Baseball news. We were talking yesterday with Kerry Miller. We do every Thursday. Lo and behold, last night, the Pirates made a move. They fired manager Derek Shelton amid a 7-game losing streak. The Pirates cannot score. They're awful offensively. Poor Paul Skeens, 3-4. Now, he's had a couple of games where he struggled a bit. He has 2 losses to the Cardinals, for goodness sakes, but he's not getting that support he needs. The Pirates 12-26, last place in the National League Central.
Yeah, it's just year after year after year. They just have been unable to figure it out. And at some point, you just got to make a move. I just kind of to tell your fans that you care a little bit, I guess. I don't think it's all his fault, certainly, but they have just struggled year after year after. When Elijah, I mean, at some point, Colorado just fires Bud Black just to say, like, we're doing something, right?
Right. They do,
He's been there for so long now. I don't know when it's going to come.
Oh, he's getting fired.
I mean, you just have to. Like, you just got to say, like, yeah, we're not. Again, because it's not like he's a first-year guy. Like, wait, we already made a move, like, the White Sox, whatever. But, like, at some point, you just got to show, like, hey, we're still paying attention, and we are awful, so therefore we're going to do something.
I mean, I could get into my spiel about Rockies management, especially from the higher-ups, but yeah, it surprised me that he's lasted this long.
Well, we always hear the term.
How many years is this for him?
It's over 10 years. I think it's his 11th year.
Wow. That's
no
patience.
Idea. I had no idea he'd been there that long.
Now, that's patience by the ownership, not just management, but ownership. But you always hear the term clean house. That's what Colorado will do. My prediction, they will clean house. General manager gone, Bud Black gone. They'll make a ton of changes. Speaking of baseball, Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox, who was moved to DH this year, they want him to move to first base. He told them no because the injury to, is it Casas?
Yeah, I'm not sure who the...
Yeah, I think he's the starting first baseman who's out once again, another injury. And so Devers flat out said, no, I'm not doing it. And he explained why. He said that in spring training, they told him, the general manager, you're going to DH, you can put the glove away, so don't sweat that. And he took him for his word, and now they have an injury, and they want to change it around. Is that fair or foul?
It's certainly fair to ask him to do that. This thing has been a bad deal since the Bregman signing. I mean, it just is that relationship between he and that team is just clearly not very good, and it's I don't know where it goes, but that Bregman signing has just it's angered him, I guess, from the beginning, and it just doesn't seem to be getting any better.
The Red Sox GM is a former player whose name escapes me. I'm going to look it up real quick. It's Brian O'Halloran. So is that the former player? They have a former player. Did he play? They need Theo Epstein again to run the show there. But anyway, yeah, I think that's him, right? Double checking on that. But anyway, the whole thing has been messed up from the get-go. I don't know if it was Bregman or whatever, but it's not, you're right, it's not foul to ask. I don't know. It used to be where you were told where you're going to go. But now these, the players make so much money. They
Craig
run the
Breslow
show.
Is the GM.
That's what I was going to say. I knew it wasn't O'Halloran. He was let go. He was after Epstein. And then I just watched the whole documentary on the Red Sox. I knew it was he's a former player. So I don't know, as a young GM who's a former player, that veteran players like Devers feel they can walk all over them. But there has to be a hierarchy and a pecking order. And even though he's going back on his word, it's for the good of the team. He wouldn't ask them if it wasn't for the good of the team. So, to me, not that I always side with management and ownership. In this case, I'm like, you're doing it for the team. Rafi, baby, we need you to move over. We got an injury. We didn't expect that injury. You were fine as a DH as long as the guy didn't go down, but we really need you. No, not going to do it. Again, players with their big salaries, they have a lot more power, a lot more weight, and we'll see if this one comes to a head. But what are you going to do? Not going to cut the guy.
He clearly wants it. He would rather be playing third base. He reluctantly accepted the idea of moving to designated hitter.
Right.
And he's just going to be difficult because he just doesn't. He's not happy with the whole situation.
Yeah, but you add a player like Bregman, and it gives you a chance. You're playing in a very competitive division. You're playing against the Yankees, and you add Alex Bregman. You should be happy about that. But again, this is selfishness at its finest, in my opinion. You got to do what's right for the team, and apparently that's not going to happen.
This is the 9th season, by the way, for Bud Black, which the last 2 years they won 59 and 61. Like, it's amazing that he hasn't been fired yet.
The only reason I think is because those first 2 years they made the playoffs. That's the only way I can rationalize.
But that was like 2000. That's 2018. Like, they've lost. If you go back 3 years, in 2022, they lost 94 games. They've lost 94, 103, 101. Like, that's virtually impossible for a manager to withstand that type of stretch anymore in Major League Baseball. And then to start the next year 6-31, like at some point, yeah, you just got to be like, again, you got to let the fans know you are paying attention. Like, it's just like, wait, do you guys notice how terrible we are? Because how are we letting the same man? And again, it's not Bud Black's fault, but you just got to do something to show that you're paying attention.
Well, in this day and age, yes, there's more moves, quicker hooks, if you will, with coaches, both professional but now collegiately, that there's more because a lot of the big-time programs have big-time money so they can endure a financial hit. So they're quick to the trigger now to fire. But then, yeah, the Bud Black thing is rare anymore. But even Derek Shelton, he wasn't 9 years, but he started in Pittsburgh in 2020 as an interim. I mean, here's his records. Now, is it Derek Shelton's fault? All of his fault? No, not even close. The Pirates spending a little bit more money in the last 2 years, but nothing compared to what you could spend. I'm not saying they have to spend Dodgers money, Mets money, Yankees money, but you got to spend. 19 and 41, 61 and 101, 62 and 100, 76 and 86, 76 and 86, and he was 12 and 26 this year. So he lasted all the way into 2025. They finally said that's it. 10 games under 500 was his biggest accomplishment. But 1 year 38 under, 1 year 40 under. So, again, it's not all his fault, but you have to, as you said, Eli, you have to show the fan base you're doing something that you're trying to do. But with Pittsburgh, the fans would probably rather them keep Shelton, spend money on players. Because it's not Derek Shelton out there throwing pitches, catching balls, swinging bats.
Like the Rockies got Walt Weiss never lost 100 games. Now, he didn't have good records, but he never lost 100 games, and they fired him after 4 years. Like, I don't know how long 2 playoff appearances earns you, but apparently with the Rockies, earns you a good long time.
Yeah, apparently. By the way, it is Casas, the first baseman for Boston, ruled out for the season with a ruptured left knee tendon. That's a big loss. He was hurt, was it last year or the prior? Again, I watched a Red Sox documentary about that and his rehabilitation, and it took a while before he returned. He returns and doesn't go a couple of months without getting hurt again, unfortunately.
Folks, when it comes to anything firearms, you know the place. That's Classic Arms. ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com, the website. They're located at 1740 Germantown Parkway. It's right behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova. Over 700 firearms in stock, whether it be handguns, shotguns, rifles, big guns, little guns, new guns, old guns, anything. ammunition, supplies, safes, cases, all that stuff. Everything you need when it comes to firearms, they've got it at Classic Arms. Not only do they sell, but they also buy and trade guns. All the top brand names, you're going to find them there. The only gun importer here in the Mid-South, guaranteed lowest price in town, free gun inspections, free gun appraisals. They do it all at Classic Arms. Again, classicarmsofmemphis.com. That's the website where you can shop 24/7, or you could go see them. 1740 Germantown Parkway. That's behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
We will open up hour 3, our final hour of the week, with something we call 10 in a row. If you'd like to participate, 901-360-8255. We'll do it after we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Happy Mother's Day from Goulds. Give the gift of relaxation. Give the gift of style. Give the gift of Goulds this Mother's Day with a Goulds gift card. Now through May 11th, purchase a $150 gift card in-store and receive a travel kit valued at $47 while supplies last. Goulds is always the right size and fit for professional salon services, spa services, and the best selection of exclusive hair and skincare products in Memphis. Pick up a gift card for mom at any Goulds location. Goulds Salon Spa, turning hands since 1932. Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery instead of dependable service and no long-term contracts. An easy choice. Call Jeff Matus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Corky's Barbecue. Cooking it up. Down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days. Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year. Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, parties always give you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next day. Encore flavor, Corky's Barbecue.
This traffic brought to you by Brinson Tax Service. They protect you like family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Morning, I'm looking at an accident. It's going to be on Bill Morris Parkway, 385 coming inbound, right there at Ridgeway, just aggravating all that traffic that's trying to get through there this time of the morning. Again, a crash over here on 385 Bill Morris Parkway at Hickory Hill Ridgeway. Again, it's got traffic tied up pretty good as it continues to build down I-40 coming westbound there at Germantown Parkway all the way down to Sycamore View Road. Dandelions Crabgrass Lawn Solutions here in town says not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Wilson, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:03 the time. Final hour for us this week here on Sports 56 Mornings, getting you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers with you on this Friday, May 9th, 2025. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That is just north of I-40. Currently 63 degrees, on the way up to about 75 today. Some sunshine, some clouds mixed tonight. 59 for your low, with cloudy skies, but a very minimal chance of precipitation. Tomorrow, for your Saturday, cloudy with a high, looks like around 69, 70 degrees. And then on Sunday, maybe late in the day on Sunday, we could see some showers, but sun early, then some clouds, 72 for your high before it starts to heat up next week. At least the middle of the week, I see 90 degrees right now on Thursday. But really not too bad for this time of the year. Hour 3 of the program is brought to you by the great folks at Jenkins Floors and More, 2356 Goodman Road. That's in Horn Lake. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. They specialize in flooring and carpeting. You get that one-on-one family atmosphere. That's what you get at Jenkins. It's not a big box store where you're just a number. Here, you're treated like family. You can call them at 662-469-9350, 662-469-9350. And when you call them or when you stop by, you want them to come to your home or your office, they'll come to you. Again, there's no hesitation. Wherever you are, they will come to you. They will give you a free estimate, show you samples of what it will look like, and then if you go with Jenkins, it's a 2-week turnaround. They'll get the job done in 2 weeks. They sell it wholesale, so skip the middleman, save you lots of money in the process. Great deal all around. Plus, if you're in military, first responder, 10% off. Sports 56 listeners, ask about your family discount as well. Why would you go anywhere else? Jenkins Floors and More. Go visit them this weekend, 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, or call them at 662-469-9350. They're open Saturday, Monday through Saturday, not open on Sunday. Jenkins Floors and More. Time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It is 10 in a row. If you'd like to participate, don't get shut out. Jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now. 901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. It's brought to you each and every week by Napa Cafe.
That is right, Napa Cafe. Fantastic food. That's what you'll find. I'm looking at the menu right now at napacafe.com from their appetizers like the baked crab dip or the blackened shrimp dumplings or the Thai steak, the fantastic entrees like some of the seafood options, whether it be the salmon or the scallops or the sea bass or the halibut, or maybe you want to go a steak route with the filet, or maybe it's a pork chop or the chicken or the short ribs. All kinds of great things to choose from on the great menu at Napa Cafe. You can go to napacafe.com to check out that full menu. Some unbelievable desserts as well on the menu over at Napa Cafe. They've got 5 different dining rooms to choose from, including their private wine cellar, which makes a great place to go celebrate a special occasion. Maybe you're looking to take mom out for a nice meal. Boy, Napa Cafe certainly would be a great place to do that. They're at 5101 Sanderlin, right there in the heart of East Memphis. Open for dinner Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock. You can make your reservations, check out that menu and much more, again, at the website, napacafe.com. The winner of 10 in a row will get a $50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe, along with $25 to Sunrise, either Sunrise the original or Sunrise East. You could use those. Also, $25 to Elwood's Shack, and a couple of Malco movie passes. So $50 to Napa Cafe, $25 to Sunrise, $25 to Elwood Shack, and a couple of Malco movie passes.
All right, my attempt to stay topical. Monday night is the NBA Draft Lottery. The question is, NBA teams, franchises that have won the draft lottery multiple times. It began in 1985. Now, again, teams that won the lottery. If they had to convey the pick, I don't care. It's who won the draft lottery. NBA teams that have won the draft lottery multiple times. Again, it began in 1985. 360-8255, 901-360-8255. That is your 10 in a row question for this week.
All right, 360-8255 is the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line to play 10 in a row. Again, $50 to Napa Cafe, $25 to Sunrise, $25 to Elwood Shack, and 2 Malco movie passes all on the line. Steven is going to lead us off. Hello, Steven.
Hey, Steven.
Good morning.
Good morning. NBA teams that have won the draft lottery multiple times. The Clippers.
No.
360-8255. Wide open lines. NBA teams that have won the draft lottery multiple times began in 1985. Now, some had to convey the pick to another team. But again, who won the draft lottery? After we wrap up 10 in a row, I'm going to go over the odds for Monday's draft lottery for 2025. Of course, they're all playing for, I would assume, Cooper Flagg, the presumed number 1 pick.
Next up is Jacob. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great. All right. NBA teams that have won the draft lottery multiple times. The Nets.
No.
360-8255. We're not off to a good start here.
Next up is Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys.
Clippers.
No.
360-8255.
Next up is Carl. Hey, Carl.
How's it going, fellas?
Good, Carl. Nets.
Yes.
Timberwolves.
Yes.
Magic.
Yes.
Wizards.
Yes.
Pistons.
Yes.
360-8255. Good roll. Good run, I should say, by Carl, but not good enough.
Robert is next. Hey, Robert.
Good morning, Robert.
All right. How you doing?
Doing well. NBA teams that have won the draft lottery multiple times, meaning twice or more. Clippers.
Yes.
Hawks.
Yes.
360-8255. Got some open lines here as we play 10 in a row, brought to you by Napa Cafe.
Next up is Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Nets.
Yes.
Timberwolves.
No.
360-8255. Who's next?
Next is Andre. Hey, Andre.
Andre.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. Clippers.
Yes.
Hawks.
No.
Spurs.
Yes.
Knicks.
No.
Cavaliers.
Yes.
Celtics.
No.
Sixers.
No.
360-8255. Who's next?
Next up is Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, man.
Nets.
Yes.
Timberwolves.
Yes.
Magic.
Yes.
Wizards.
Yes.
Pistons.
Detroit. No.
Grizzlies.
No.
Lakers.
No.
Kings.
Sacramento. No.
Suns.
Phoenix. No.
Bucks.
Milwaukee. Yes.
There you go. There's a winner.
Steve, congratulations. You are a winner.
It's going to be a good weekend for Steve.
Hold on. Elijah will let you know how to get your prizes.
Great job. All right. I'll test you on the other list, Eli. Clippers?
Yes.
Hawks?
No.
Spurs?
Yes.
Knicks?
No.
Cavaliers?
Yes.
Celtics?
No.
76ers?
No.
That's a yes. Bulls?
No.
That's a yes. Trailblazers?
No.
Correct. Rockets?
Rockets would be, I would say, no.
That's correct. That is correct.
Who did the Bulls get other than Rose? Who was the other one?
I don't know. Oh, I had it here a second ago. You know, some of them were conveyed to another team. Let me see. I just had that list up. I'm going to go over the odds for Monday night here in a second. Let me see if I can find this. Come on. There we go. Let's see. So, come on. Come on, Internet. We're on live radio. Don't you know that? All right. So Chicago, in 1999, they got Elton Brand.
That's
2008, they got Derrick Rose. So there you go. So Monday night, as you would imagine, the worst teams have the best percentage, best odds. Doesn't mean that they will be picking one or two. And, there's the NBA's done a pretty good job in making it really interesting. Of course, we are not privy to what's going on behind the closed door. We just know about the people up front when we watch the actual draft lottery on Monday. Grizzlies, obviously, if they had lost that game in the play-in, they would have gotten a first-round pick. They didn't because they won the game and moved into the playoffs and the rest of the history. But again, I was glad they played well and won that game. So here is the odds, or are the odds. Utah, Washington, Charlotte, all 14%. You think about it, though. Utah had the worst record by only one game, but 17-65. Back in the day before the draft lottery, Utah would have the number one pick. Their odds of getting the number one pick is only 14%. It's not great odds. Washington, 14%. Charlotte, 14%. But they are the best odds of all these other teams. New Orleans, 12.5%. Philadelphia, 10.5%. Brooklyn, 9%. Toronto, 7.5%. San Antonio, Eli, you got your eye on San Antonio, 6% chance. Phoenix, which will go to Houston via Brooklyn, 3.8%. Portland, 3.7%. Dallas, 1.8%. Chicago, 1.7%. Sacramento, 0.8% chance of getting the number one pick. Sacramento's pick will be conveyed to Atlanta. And then Atlanta, 0.7%. And that pick, I guess, will go to San Antonio. And the other one is Philadelphia. Their pick may be conveyed to Oklahoma City. So I don't know what's protected there as far as their pick. But can you imagine Oklahoma City gets another first-round pick? I mean, they don't have one right now, but I'm saying they get a first-round pick to go with what they've done recently in the draft.
I think Oklahoma City has two other first-round picks.
I don't mean first-round. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Lottery pick. Yeah, I'm just talking about the...
Last year, the Hawks won it with a 3% chance. That had ended the streak 4 straight years before that. One of the teams of the 14 percenters had won for 4 straight years. But last year, Atlanta came from way back with the 3% chance of getting it and able to do that. Out of the last 10 years, 8 of the years, one of the teams with the best chance has gotten it. New Orleans in 2019 had a 6% chance. Atlanta last year, 3% chance were the two that were not amongst the group of teams with the best chance to win that won it in the last 10 years.
Yeah, Atlanta was 10th. They had the 10th best odds. They didn't have the worst odds, but they had the 10th best odds, and they hit it, as you said. 3% was 10th best odds. But, yeah, I mean, it's interesting that those top teams have won it as much as they have with only a 14% chance. But again, it's better than everybody else's chances. So if you got a 14% chance, you'd rather have that than a 3.8% chance. So Utah, Washington, Charlotte, all in that same boat. We'll see what happens. Again, Cooper Flagg, is there any chance that he doesn't go number one overall?
No.
Not a chance.
Okay. Is there a consensus number 2?
No, I don't think so. I think Dylan Harper is the most likely to go number 2, but you have Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe right there who could also take it.
Right. Yeah. 2 members of Rutgers, which is still crazy. And they didn't make the NCAA tournament, did they? That's mind-boggling to have two players that could be top 5 picks in the draft and couldn't lead them to a playoff spot. To a tournament spot. That's crazy. But again, that'll be Monday. In the meantime, plenty of action going on tonight and throughout the weekend in the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But when we come back, it's all about what could be happening very soon. A decision on the college football playoff 2026 and moving forward after the Power Conference commissioners met yesterday. I don't think people knew they were meeting until after the fact. We will talk about that when we return. Before we do that, though, I want to tell you about Corky's. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, a Memphis institution for 4 decades. You can dine in at any of their 4 restaurants in Memphis on Poplar Avenue, in Collierville, also on Poplar Avenue, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, or Goodman Road in Olive Branch. You could have that delicious slow-smoked barbecue delivered to your home or office via DoorDash or any of the services, or you can just roll through the no-contact drive-through and pick up your lunch or dinner. They have lunch specials every single day. Party packs that start at just $7.49. When you grab yourself your entree for lunch or dinner, get yourself a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. Nice little add-on there. And, of course, catering. That has been a part of their staple since they began 40 years ago. They've been catering that entire time. You got an event coming up, let Corky's cater it for you. Starts you out as low as $7.99 per person. They set it up, they take it down. It's as simple as that for that great, great barbecue. Also, they have a private party room in Cordova or in Olive Branch that you can take advantage of for a graduation get-together, birthday party, celebration, anniversary, whatever the case may be. Call Corky's to reserve your day and time right now. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just 2 deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks, you know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Hi, I'm Chandler Martin. I'm back for the University of Memphis football. You need cash? Refinance your auto loan with Southern Security and have no payment for 60 days. Southern Security will finance up to 115% of the current value of your vehicle for up to 72 months. To find out how to put more cash in your pocket, call our member service team at 901-452-7900 or apply on our website, southernsecurity.org. Southern Security is a proud supporter of University of Memphis Athletics. Southern Security, your home team credit union. Federally insured by the NCUA. Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, or This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Morning, wrapping up this accident, still a little bit of rubbernecking going on. Billmore's Parkway 385, right at Ridgeway and Hickory Hill. What a place to have an accident this time of the morning as it's so heavy up through here as it is. Again, that's 385 Billmore's Parkway at Hickory Hill. Midtown traffic starting a little bit heavier in the last few minutes, 240 northbound as you come up past Lamar. Weimer's Jewelry is your diamond engagement ring headquarters here in Memphis. Go by and see them this weekend at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56.
So Oklahoma City, that Philadelphia pick is top 6 protected. So if two teams from behind Philadelphia were to jump over the top of them, then Oklahoma City would get it. Oklahoma City has Miami's pick at number 20, and they have a pick swap with the Clippers or Houston, which they Clippers. So they have 20 and 24 right now and could get theoretically like 7 or 8 if Philadelphia dropped in the lottery.
Wow. Well, what's interesting is I was just reading a story during the break, which kind of chimes in with what you were talking about here, especially with Miami. There's a story that the Heat are likely to pursue Kevin Durant, but they're not going to offer a significant package of future picks, that they would settle on Andrew Wiggins, Duncan Robinson's nearly $20 million expiring contract, plus a prospect. I don't think that's going to cut it. Now, I don't know Ishbia from Ashbia, but I do know that that is not strong enough of a package. Oklahoma City, if they wanted to go in this direction, let's say they don't win it all. Do you want to go after a guy who used to be with your club, your organization? What would that do to the chemistry that you have right now with the young players? But if you wanted to, boy, do you have the assets. Especially if Phoenix is looking for high draft picks as part of that compensation package. So it's something to keep an eye on as far as Oklahoma City, because not only is their present bright, but their future is awfully bright. Now, eventually you're going to have to pay a lot of guys, but you're not going to be able to keep them all. But they could go that direction if they wanted to, especially if they get knocked out and they don't win it all. But, man, if they play the way they played in Game 2 against Denver, I don't know. We'll talk about those two games that are on the schedule for tonight in just a few moments. But a couple of other things I wanted to dive into. We're going to get to the college football playoff thing in just a second. But I did see this real quick. Abdul Carter, who was the number 3 overall pick, and Jackson Dart, who the Giants made the move and got back into the first round and drafted him, were both introduced to the media. Yesterday or today, it might have been this morning. Getting all these days mixed up. Anyway, Abdul Carter's wearing number 51. And so I'm reading the story about this. I go, 51. Said, it ends the speculation that Carter would wear the retired number 56 Hall of Fame linebackers jersey, Lawrence Taylor. Or number. It wouldn't be the same jersey, obviously. If it's a retired number, why does anybody have an opportunity to wear that number? I don't care if it's not obviously the physical jersey, the guy, you're not taking that from behind the plexiglass and.
Well, he asked Lawrence Taylor, and Taylor said no, and then he asked for Phil Simms, number 11, and they said no.
Yeah,
so
but
now he took one from each.
Yeah, but why was it even a story? That's the point I'm making. Why was it even a story today that the speculation was he was going to wear 56? He had already been turned down. There was no speculation. Lawrence Taylor said no. The only way you can get the permission to use a retired jersey is by that person themselves. And he was turned down. That was a while ago. It was like 2 weeks. Well, when was the draft? I think it was like the next day. Now, I don't even think you should ask. If a jersey is retired, I don't care if you wore it in high school and then in college and all that. 56 for the Giants is Lawrence Taylor. It will always be Lawrence Taylor. It should only be Lawrence Taylor. You shouldn't even ask. Phil Simms, same deal. If it's a retired jersey, move on, get a different number.
The thing with Simms, I think if I believe Phil Simms said he would be fine.
And
but his family said no, which if the guy wants it, is okay with it, I don't care. I'm the one. They didn't retire your number. They retired my number. If I want to let him wear it, I'll let him wear it.
Well, you know who wears the pants in that family, apparently. His wife. But look, I don't think you should even ask. And I know there's probably some players that wouldn't care. But make your own path. Use a different number. I don't care what you did at high school or college. Lawrence Taylor, that number should never, ever be used.
Well, the number 11 is a big deal for Penn State people. The guy who wears 11 at Penn State is a big deal.
At Penn State.
The idea of him wanting to wear 11 in the pros is certainly very understandable.
No, it's understandable that they want to wear a jersey that's associated with them or their school. But Penn State's Penn State. This is the New York Football Giants. It's a whole different ballgame. But again, Simms retired. No. Taylor, yes, absolutely. You can't go near number 56, in my opinion. All right, so yesterday we got into a nice discussion about the college football playoff. And while we were doing the show, no idea that the Power 4 conference commissioners were meeting in New York. So it wasn't just the two. It was all four of them. And according to several reports, I think Thamel's the one I took this information from. Pete Thamel's sources say there's continued focus on a 16-team college football playoff starting in 2026. This was from an industry source that he used. I would say that 16 is becoming more preferred. So that's the way it'll ultimately go. It's going to go to 16. The problem for me was I was thinking that, they're probably going to go to 14 first and then milk it, and then the next contract go to 16 to get more money. But when the whole 4-4, 1-1, what am I doing here? 4-4-8, 1-1, add it up for me.
4-4-2-2-1.
Thank you. 4-4-2-2-1, which is 4 Big Ten, 4 SEC, 2 Big 12, 2 ACC, 4-4-2-2-1. That would be for the at-large, and then 1 for the group of 5. So 4-4-2-2-1-1. And we got into this discussion yesterday. I said, there's no way they're keeping it at 1 at-large when you know it's going to be Notre Dame pretty much every year, unless they have a real stinkeroo. So 16, I said, makes more sense to go to right away because then you'd have 3. If you're going to go the 4-4-2-2 and then 3 at large and 1 for the group of 5. That makes much more sense. Now, I'm not sure if that's still the scenario, but the total number of 16, like I said in this story, seems to be the way that they're going. The preferred route is 16 teams. And we could have something in place here in the next several weeks, month or so. It won't be that long before they come to a conclusion, especially that you gave me that information yesterday. They don't need the unanimous vote anymore.
Yeah, I think most people have said that they want to have this done. I believe the meetings in June. I'm not sure exactly when in June there is meetings that they would like to have this settled. If they go to 16, I believe that requires some renegotiating with ESPN. The current ESPN deal, I believe, had language in there for a change to a 14-team playoff, something like that. I know, I'm not sure of all the details on that, but there was language. That's why most people believed they were going to go to 14 because that would not require any change really as far as the TV deal. Going to 16, I'm assuming you'd have to go back to ESPN and get a new deal out of that. But the 16 could very well be the kind of the settlement, I guess, from the Big Ten and the SEC saying, fine, we'll give an extra couple of at-large spots for you guys to make up kind of for the 2 extra automatic bids that we're going to get if they do stick with the 4-4-2-1 model. But yeah, it's from everything I've read, they kind of want to have this wrapped up in those June meetings at the latest. Obviously, you'll have all the conference meetings that go on here before too long, before those actual meetings that take place. So conferences, I guess, can have their conversations and get everything, and then they all get together and try and figure it out.
Yeah, we're talking about a month, basically, here or there. And it wouldn't come into play until 2026, but it's a new deal that you're right. Contracts have to be signed. The money has to be dispersed in a different manner. But it just didn't make sense to me if they're going to get their way, the SEC and the Big Ten, and I'm sure they're going to get their way, to have 4 automatics for both and then to just leave 1 at-large possibility with the ACC and the Big 12 getting 2. So the chance you're getting that third is probably going to be very limited with Notre Dame sitting out there. But with 3, you got a chance. Now, you also have a chance that a 5th team from the Big Ten, the SEC, or both beats out your 3rd team or your choice that would be the 3rd team out of the SEC or the Big 12. You can end up having 5 from the Big Ten, not automatic, but 5 from the Big Ten and 5 from the SEC. It could turn out that way. It's not out of the question, but it's a little bit tougher road to hoe for an SEC or Big Ten team finishing 5th and then being picked by the committee over a really good, better record 3rd place team in the Big 12 or the ACC. But it's not out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, the SEC, the Big Ten are looking. I mean, if they're adding the extra at-larges, are looking at it as that's possibilities for us to get extra teams in as well, just like anybody else.
Yeah, but I like it because that's where they're going. 16, get it done now. Don't wait around. But I thought for sure, and again, nothing's etched in stone yet, but I thought, they're going to go to 14. They're going to milk this thing. They're going to get the new contract for 14. And then once that's done, they'll get another contract for 16 when that contract ends. Do you have any idea how long the contract will be for? Is it going to be through 2032?
It's, I mean, the contract with ESPN is done.
With what? 14?
Again, there was language in there that allowed for a change to 14. That's
Okay.
why everybody thought they were going to go to 14.
So if they go to 16, they got to change the language, change the deal, really, because the money will be different. You're adding two teams.
31-32.
Yeah, 31-32. So basically a 6-year deal. All right, tonight in the NBA, you got 2 games. You got the Cavaliers, the Pacers. You got the Thunder and the Nuggets. The Cavs, who may also once again be without a couple of key players. They were without 3 of them on for both the first and second games. Darius Garland, have we heard anything more about the injury status of their walking wounded? Obviously, Mobley missed. Did Mobley play in game 1? He did, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he missed game 2. Garland's missed the first 2 games. And then Hunter is out as well. They're all questionable. Any more word on anything with those guys?
I have not seen anything new.
Okay. Cavaliers have to go to Indiana and try to stay in the series. They are 3.5-point favorites. Are you surprised that the Cavaliers, with questionable questionable availability, with 3 other players, down 0-2 in the series, going on the road, are a 3.5-point favorite?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, they're in a desperation mode, so and they're the better team. So no, I'm not surprised that they would be the favorite.
You want to play Indiana on the money line tonight? You can get plus 145.
Kenny Atkinson said all 3 of those guys did participate in a kind of walkthrough, but they did not do any kind of live stuff at all. So just they were able to participate in a walkthrough.
So purely a game time decision, I would imagine. But again, when they're questionable, that's That's not great. 6:30, tip-off, ESPN. The nightcap, Thunder and Nuggets, 9 o'clock or thereabouts, also on ESPN. The Thunder rolled over the Nuggets in Game 2 and now go into Denver as a 5.5-point favorite. If you want to take Denver on the money line, it's plus 190. What adjustments does Denver need to make after what happened in Game 2? You had Jokic foul out late in the third. They weren't back in transition defense. Oklahoma City was doing what they do well.
Well, that's the thing. It's just the same thing as we saw against the Grizzlies. Like you cannot turn the ball over, especially live ball turnovers against Oklahoma City. They will eat you up. They score in a hurry when you turn it over to them. And so, obviously, you're going to have to get Jokic has got to be out of foul trouble, be on the court. He's going to have to be much like he was in Game 1. Going to have to be Nikola Jokic, best player in the world. Anything less than that, going to be really difficult for them to win against Oklahoma City.
Back to Indiana and Cleveland, Tyrese Halliburton was warned by the NBA, but not fined by the NBA yesterday for his dance after making the clutch shot to win Game 2. How would you describe the dance? I mean, I know how to describe the dance, but is there a name for that dance?
I call it the Sam Cassell. He did it first.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when Sam did it. Was Sam fined by the league for that?
I have no idea.
There's been like 5 or 6 people who've been fined by the league through the years for that.
So why do you think he wasn't?
I don't know.
That's interesting. So others have been fined. Yeah. LeBron James, Eddie House, Julius Randle, Fred VanVleet. They describe it as an obscene gesture. But for Halliburton, I don't know. I guess they feel that Tyrese has already gone through a lot with his fellow compatriots around the league voting him the most overrated player. His dad getting in trouble with the league. I don't know. But how does 4 or 5 others that did it get fined and he doesn't? In any case, he's in action tonight for the Pacers and the Cavaliers.
You act like the league is very consistent on their fines. Ja Morant got fined for something that everybody else was doing and he'd been doing all year.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe because Halliburton is somewhat of a model citizen. Nothing I can think of that he's gotten into trouble for. But yeah. No fine. Just a warning. So in the warning, does like does Adam Silver get on the phone and talk to Halliburton? He goes, I'm warning you. You do it one more time.
I'm sure it's similar to the warning that Ja got.
That warning was probably different.
The first time he was doing, well, not the first time. The first time they decided it mattered that he was doing the finger guns.
Right. All right, we'll take a timeout. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Well, there's some things about the Rendezvous I'm going to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to doors. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. But we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear. Please listen carefully for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous. Since 1948, the Rendezvous. I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five-Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
When you're hungry for good meat, trust the family that has been feeding Memphis since 1967. Charlie Hogan, Triangle Meat Company. Trust Triangle Meat for fresh beef, hamburger, and rub. Trust Triangle Meat for delicious pork ribs, chops, and butt. And trust Triangle Meat for Virginia Gold Run. 80 bucks a month. Triangle Meat Company has all the meat you need. Shop Triangle Meat Company. 85 Monday through Saturday, 4790 Summer Avenue, 901-683-1192. Fresh or frozen, big or small. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56. This hour brought to you by Today's Sports. Once again, Greg Gaston.
Three-time All-Star World Series champion Chet Lemon passed away yesterday at the age of 70. He's from Jackson, Mississippi. That's where he was born. Began his career with the White Sox, then was traded to the Tigers and played the rest of his career in Detroit from 82 to 90. They won the World Series, of course, in 1984. Very good player. Not a great player. He was a very good player. He was drafted in the first round of the 72 Major League Baseball draft. I remember, now I could be mistaken, but I believe it was Chet Lemon, who I remember vividly with a baseball card of him with the shorts on. Remember when the White Sox wore the shorts?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Chet Lemon that I remember. Like in my mind, it's Chet Lemon. So Chet Lemon sadly passed away yesterday at the age of 70. We were talking just briefly about this earlier. We didn't really have the time to get into it in our first hour because we had JV on the program. But the whole Draymond Green thing, and we've talked a lot about Draymond Green. We certainly appreciate him as a player until the antics, happen. But as a player, he's been instrumental. I mean, he's been really a good player who's been instrumental in helping Golden State achieve the success that they have. And he's a smart guy. He knows a lot of the things that he's doing. But last night, the things that he said, first of all, if you didn't watch the game or haven't read about this game, Green was fouled by Naz Reid while holding the ball with 8:46 to go in the second quarter. The Timberwolves win over the Warriors. After being fouled, Green flailed his left arm at Reid's head. Reid fell to the floor. Reid was called for the personal foul, but Green was assessed a dead ball technical foul after review. He is 2 technicals short of receiving an automatic 1-game suspension. So he has 5 technicals right now. 2 gets him suspended. He also has 2 flagrant fouls called against him. After the game, Green gave a quick statement to reporters saying he believes there is an agenda against him. He did not elaborate. Looked like the angry black man, Green said to reporters in the visitors' locker room. I'm not an angry black man. I am a very successful, educated black man with a great family, and I am great at basketball and great at what I do. Okay, he's also very boastful, but he's right. But as far as take away the word black, he looked like an angry man. I'm an angry man. I don't know, he's perpetuating things by saying angry black man, and I don't know what he's talking about as far as an agenda from the reporters. Said the agenda is to try to keep making me look like an angry black man. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous. Well, again, if there's an agenda, maybe they're making you look like an angry man. But that's not what's happening either. You're doing it to yourself. And he is an incredibly intelligent guy. And he is a great basketball player. And I'm sure he's a great family man. But you're losing your mind here. Now, Jimmy Butler said he agrees that Green's reputation often leads to calls going against him, but said he isn't worried about Green drawing a suspension later in the postseason. Yes, that is accurate to some degree. He has a reputation for at times playing dirty on the court. But I don't get it. What he means, like there's an agenda against him being an angry black man. What are we talking about here? He's angry all the time. He's an angry man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous. He, again, after the technical was called, he very easily could have got another technical. I mean, he was losing his mind. And they took him out of the game in order to try and get him to settle down. And realizing that he probably was going to get another. I mean, he plays angry a lot. He constantly is yelling at officials. In a situation like that, when you flail your arms in an unnecessary way and hit somebody in the face, that is generally going to be, in this situation, a technical because the foul had already been called, so it's not a foul because it's technically a dead ball at that time, so it's going to be a technical. It just is. And that's because that's not a basketball play that he was doing, and he hit somebody in the face doing it. So that's going to be a technical. So it's Draymond. I appreciate Draymond as a basketball player, what he's able to do. Draymond trying to constantly play the victim, I can't stand it. It's annoying as hell. The officials have nothing against him. Again, they probably let him get away with more than some others. There probably would have been a lot of players who would have gotten the second technical last night and been kicked out of that game. The idea that it's the officials trying to make him look like anything is crazy. He makes himself look like the angry black man because he's the guy out there yelling and screaming and doing all the stuff that he does.
Yeah, again, he just happens to be black. The angry man is because of what he does. Everything that he has done, whether it's been positive or negative, is because of himself. It's not because there's an agenda. Now, does he have the reputation of committing flagrant fouls, of being this type of player? Yes. Yes, the history would tell you. It doesn't mean that there is an agenda to go after him. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, all the time, it's because of himself, because of what he does, his antics. And you think he maybe gets away with some stuff? I don't know about that, but he's going to get his team in deep trouble if he happens to get a couple of more technical fouls in the next 2 games and misses, let's say, game number 4. This would be game 3. And this is before the possibility, and it's only a possibility right now, of Steph Curry returning. You can't afford to lose Draymond Green on top of losing Steph Curry. And I think he probably understands his value, but not well enough to know that he can't do those stupid things to cost his team. He doesn't have Curry to bail him out. He doesn't have Klay Thompson anymore to bail him out.
To me, one of the funnier things is, and again, Jimmy Butler hasn't been there very long, so maybe he doesn't understand it, but for Jimmy Butler to say he knows how much we need him now more than ever, so I don't think he gets to 7 technicals, he literally lost the Warriors a championship by getting suspended. I mean, so the idea that suddenly Draymond's going to go, okay, now I'm right on the edge. I can't get any more, do anything else because I might get suspended. He did it in the NBA Finals and lost them a title in all likelihood because of it. So don't think that some calming influence is coming over Draymond Green because the next one or whatever may get him suspended. He does not care.
No, he goes into another zone. When he's playing and gets into that situation, that volatile situation, there's nobody that can stop him. He's like the Tasmanian devil. And he's going around and around, and he's not thinking about this could hurt my team. He's not thinking about the future. He's thinking about the now, the moment. And after the game, again, this is an intelligent guy who has a chance to think about it, still says there's an agenda to make him be the angry black man. That's on him. There's no agenda. That is absolutely 100% on him. And yet, he's never going to be Barkley, where he could say anything he wants on his podcast and people are going to laugh about it. Barkley is an interesting guy. Shaq's like that too, where these guys can say anything, even demeaning things. I mean, Barkley went off on fraternities and people who are in fraternities. And I was a fraternity guy in college, and I laugh it off because it's Barkley. If Draymond Green thinks he's going to be, because he's probably going to get that opportunity to be some sort of analyst or definitely on-air guy. I mean, he already has that podcast. He's never going to be those two guys because he's not loved universally like those two guys are. Because there's really some, unless it's all a game, like a Richard Sherman thing, the way he is on and off the field, there's like hatred there, and that's the problem.
Raider Corey says, I'm an angry black man commuting to work sometimes, but I don't think about socking people.
He happens to be black. He happens to be angry.
Draymond, by the way,
I'm white, and I get angry too.
Draymond did make the Pro Basketball Writers Association all-interview team. He was first team, along with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Donovan Mitchell. Mike Conley, Tyrese Halliburton, Bam Adebayo, Josh Hart, and Damian Lillard. Second team, all-interview team.
Wow. Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if I've ever heard the guy talk. I'm trying to be honest with you here. I can't recall, anything he has said. But some of those other guys absolutely belong on that list. One final thing, the rookies reported in Jacksonville. Travis Hunter will wear the number 12. Now, I'm assuming that the undrafted rookies also reported. And if that's the case, that would be former Memphis Tiger quarterback Seth Hennigan. That's going to do it for us this week. I want to thank everybody for listening. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your calls and texts as well. Thanks to John Varlas and Steve Macy for joining us. We're back Monday, starting bright and early at 7 a.m. Recap everything that happened in the world of sports over the weekend. Matt Reiser will join us for a final time this year, coming up on Monday as well. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Elijah Seegers, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.